Welcome. You have now tuned in to the Blackout and Shout podcast with your host, Mike Kincaid.
Can I tell you that Baby Yoda just annoys the shit out of me?
That's because you haven't watched The Mandalorian. Oh, look at Baby Yoda, so huge. Levy Curry.
So people do all sorts of crazy stuff, like dinosaur romance novels. Those are really a thing. Taken by the T-Rex. A billionaire dinosaur forced me, ravaged by the raptors.
I wonder if there's audiobooks of them.
And Jed Vargo.
He was always like well known for wearing the Nazi outfit on.
Captain Kangaroo?
Captain Kangaroo.
Didn't he have the...
No. And he did not dress up as a Nazi either.
So sit back. Mike, are you... Listen to me. Relax. Say, transform and roll out. And enjoy the show. Episode 167 of the Blackout and Shout Show. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Hey, it's a new format, if you haven't heard. That'll be that for this episode.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Yeah. So sitting across from me all the way over there in New Jersey, our very special guest, Mr. Nathaniel Armstrong. How are you doing this evening, Nate?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
how are you, Jed?
Thanks for coming on. And I was actually gonna say to everyone we should invite Nate, and then I thought, you have to go through the whole, gauntlet of asking the wife and giving her promises and stuff like that, things that you didn't really want to do, but you're gonna have to do this weekend anyway. But
Yep.
They're all the usual things: flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep.
Finishing that do-it-yourself job that you started a year ago.
Oh,
that
man.
one little thing that you were supposed to finish, but you didn't. But you just went on to the next project anyway.
You know what? I don't have any of those. I finished what I started.
God, I have so many of those. I got to do with. There's still an air vent that's not covered yet in my kitchen.
Ooh, you know what? I've got. We had a hailstorm, 2 or 3 summers ago, and it destroyed the vents in the top of my right up above, right under my roof.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never fixed them because I discovered years ago that I'm suddenly terrified of heights. I wasn't.
Me too. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it happened, and I'm like, I don't want to go up there and fix that.
Well, it's not so much as that you're scared of heights. It's just that you're more concerned about your well-being than what you were when you were younger.
Yeah.
You're more scared of hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to my other co-host this evening, Mr. Levy Curry. How are you doing this evening, Levy Curry?
Boo! Boo! Boo this man!
What are you booing me for?
No, I'm booing me.
Oh, why are you booing you?
I don't know. Felt right at the time.
Boo-hoo. It's only a joke. Anyway, what was I going to say now before that weird exchange of words? Oh, how are you? Besides,
I've actually been feeling a little under the weather this week, so forgive me if I cough into the mic and shit. I'll try to mute it when I remember to. I was just learned today that there's actually a restaurant at Hershey Park called the Chocolatier.
Yeah, we actually ate there last year when we went there.
And they like make all sorts of stuff with like cocoa and shit and chocolate. And it sounds amazing, and I want to go. Like their milkshakes. Okay, first off, they're $18 milkshakes, which is a bit of inflation from Pulp Fiction. All right, but they put they top it with an entire piece of cake.
Dude, they have like these. There's this whole Sunday bar, right? Mm-hmm. And you can get like milkshakes and sundaes and stuff like that. But man, they'll throw like a whole bar of chocolate in there. And they'll just fill it up with like chocolate syrup and like ice cream and everything. And it's like, and you can get all these like weird concoctions and stuff. And they have, the thing that's even worse about it, they have like these, cooler kiosks sitting out with the shit rotating on fucking glass plates and stuff to fucking just make you salivate as you get there. And then they sell the fucking 30-pound boxes of chocolate bars for like $20 or whatever. And you're like, God damn it. Why do I have all these Kit Kats?
Like they have like a cocoa dusted short ribs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I was just going to ask.
Doesn't it?
I was going to ask how much bacon you've had covered in chocolate.
Oh, I've had chocolate covered bacon. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But
they actually have that there too. Like they actually like there's it's either I think it's a burger, and they'll put like chocolate covered bacon on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's the whole thing, and the whole hey, let's throw chocolate on anything you want type of deal at that place.
Sounds amazing.
All these places are expensive. I'll tell you what, it was kind of cool. We went through the whole tour. The sitting in, it's cool for the kids, but it was basically kind of you were like going through like a little conveyor belt tour and like these carts or whatever, and it was just mostly like really big flat screens just playing out like cartoon characters. It reminds you of the fucking the tour from fucking Jurassic Park with fucking Mr. DNA,
Yep.
So,
and boom, you have a dinosaur.
A dinosaur. It's basically exactly what it was. But everything else was really cool around there. They had like all the different like little history museums and all that stuff, and
just like that, you have a chocolate bar.
But yeah, the food was great.
How far is that from you guys?
2 hours
for me.
Yeah, close to 2 hours, I think, from Allentown area.
You just gotta go to the end of 78. It is, I think.
And that's Hershey, PA, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
My wife and I we stayed in King of Prussia. We were looking at other small towns in the area to possibly move.
Oh.
Pennsylvania is nice. It's nice.
It would be cool if you could move closer, Nate.
I don't know if that's closer, to be honest. I think it's the same, right? Like we're about an hour and a half.
King of Prussia is only like 45 minutes from here.
Yeah,
from me.
Yeah,
from Jet, it's a ways, I think, but
yeah,
from like Allentown area,
like 2 hours. But then again, Mike's place is an hour and 15 minutes, so that makes sense because then King of Prussia is 2 hours. So
yeah,
yeah. Anyway, there's
we'll see.
Tons of places. It guess depends on how close you want to stay to things, though.
I don't know. Because I keep telling myself that I want to go back to more of the existence that I had when I was growing up in Maine, but I haven't lived that way in 30 years. So is that really what I want, or is nostalgia is what nostalgia is? So,
well, I mean, I guess it depends on like how far you have to go to work and all that jazz. But there's a lot of stuff that's like kind of northeastern Pennsylvania. That's a lot of like just open land type of thing, small town type of thing. But be careful, because I wound up in that whole thing, and then now I'm living, around, thousands of racists. So
yeah,
everything was cheap and it looked nice, and on top of a mountain, and like, oh, look at this thing. Oh, all the farms.
There was a reason for that.
Yep. I should have took the clues, when I was calling for like homeowners insurance, like, wow, that's a culture shock, isn't it, Mr. Wargo? I'm like, is it? I don't know.
When we first moved here, we asked our real estate agent, like, what's the diversity like? And she looked at us like, you're it. You're, it's people that look like you, and actually just like your husband, not so much like you.
It's really funny though, because my friend Gary moved to Jersey too, and when they bought a house and stuff like that before he moved back to Philly, and he moved into like a residential type of like area. The problem was with them was that all those people that lived in that like say 50 home like Levy, what do you call your it's not a complex, right? That's like development, yeah. They lived, but it wasn't really a development. It was like one of those things where it was pre-development, but it was still like a little mini neighborhood type of thing. So a borough or whatever. But they were very specific about letting people in. Like they had a community like thing where they said you have to be basically approved by everyone to be allowed in. So they wouldn't get like certain types of people living in their neighborhood. Like, and it was like anywhere from being, biased about like racial or sexuality or religion, or even if your age. So he was like lucky that he was married, because if it was just him and they would never let him in. And I'm like, is that allowed anymore? And he's like, apparently so. When it comes to like these whole housing community things.
If it's a gated community, yeah. They have housing boards.
Yeah.
Because they'll because I still think it would be technically illegal to discriminate based on skin color, but if they could find some other arbitrary reason, that's what they'll say instead of. But the real reason would be it's like, oh yeah, we don't want no black people here.
Right, but they could say, well, if you're under 40, you're still going to be partying and it's going to be too loud at night, type of thing. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be having 3 cars. Yeah, we can't have that.
Right. Yeah. Too much pollution.
They'll park one on the street.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll be parking in the street, and then that'll just invite all sorts of hooligans and ne'er-do-wells.
Hooligans. So yeah, I don't know if I would want to live in that or surrounded by racism. I'm not quite sure.
Well, I mean, aren't they both really kind of the same thing?
Kind of, yeah.
So I say that to say
one
this.
has a gate, the other one doesn't.
I just want more space so that I can display more toys. I think that's what it comes down to.
Oh, I thought you wanted some place where your kids could like just run out back and.
No, that is the primary reason. In fact, I think in order to, so we're going to make a big profit when we sell our house if the market remains where it is right now. Fantastic, yay! But that means we're going to pay an exaggerated price on some other house. But we don't have that profit. It's not in our pocket, and we need in today's market at least $100K for a down payment. And I'm starting to look at my collection like, would I rather have a new house with more space or all of these toys, And it's like big boy decisions.
You want the space to put toys in it, right? So now you're
kind of
whole Schrodinger box cat thing, right?
Yeah, but you guys know how bad I am at selling my stuff. So, but if I sold all of it and it was all gone and I had to really think about what I wanted back, that might bring some of the spark of collecting back in,
Interesting. I'd say you should look at houses up here, but you stay away from the racism. You wouldn't like it here at all. The diversity is terrible.
Yeah, no, if there's not any so we were in Forest Hills before we came here, Forest Hills, Queens, which is the most diverse place on the planet, period.
That's where Spider-Man lived, right? That's where Peter Parker grew up?
He lived in Queens.
Yeah.
Was it Forest Hills specifically? I thought it was that cemetery he goes to. I know exactly where that is, but that's kind of like
wasn't really any buildings he could swing from. He always had to take the bus.
Yeah, no, there aren't. They're lower there, although they're building them up anyway. So yeah, I think that might. How are you guys doing with your collecting passion?
I'll let Levy answer that while I go turn off the ice maker that I forgot to turn off.
I keep buying stuff. Mm-hmm. That's it. I keep buying stuff. So
that sounds like a addiction.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, actually, I should say, because I don't buy stuff all the time. I have a bunch of stuff on pre-order, and when as it trickles in, I let my stash fill up, and then I'll ship it, right? But then recently, I bought some stuff on a whim. Like I just recently got the last 2 parts for my Lucky Cat War Within style Devastator.
Oh yeah.
And then there was this set of figures that I had pre-ordered a long time ago, but then I canceled because I realized I don't really need these, and I need to cut back on some things. So I canceled the pre-orders on them, right? But then they launched and they released, and they didn't sell out. And I saw them on Big Bad Toy Store, and I was looking. I'm like, I really do like them. They look cool. So I went and bought them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were about like $100 each. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
But they're pretty fantastic. I'm looking at them right now. I love them. Did I need them? No. Should I have bought them? Probably not. But do I regret it? Nah.
Yeah. It's the same way I feel about I was going to cancel the MP Jetfire. Mm-hmm. It's like most collectors. I already have a Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I don't again, I'm looking to change the life, right?
Yeah.
Do a few more mature things. There will be time for Nate to spend money on toys once the kids are a little further along. But I let it sit because I view a pre-order as a promise, and I cancel only in dire circumstances.
I cancel shit all the time.
Yeah, I think that's bad practice. I'm saying, go ahead, order this thing for me. I will pay you for it. I promise.
Ami would see you as a very dishonorable customer, Levian. You should
no, I read the stories. I never cancel from Ami. I've never canceled anything. I'm like, man, I even actually ordered 2 figures or 2 of the same figure one time, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting 2 of them because I forgot. Brother Kyle picked one up for me. And then it's like, I was going through my pre-orders. I'm like, holy shit, I don't have this thing pre-ordered. So I went and pre-ordered it. So I ended up getting 2 of them. And I wasn't gonna stick Kyle with the one that I told him I was gonna take from him. Yep, so I got that one, and I got the one that I ordered direct. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting 2 of them.
Yeah,
I still have one of them unopened. I'm probably gonna try and sell it, but when I get around to it.
I had to cancel one of the Iron Men I was going to buy was the Igor. I thought it was a 1/6. It was a 1/12 scale.
Oh.
And I was like, I got to cancel this. I don't want to, but I got it. I don't want that at all. And I was like, so I said, can I cancel? And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, because this. And they're like, all right. It was the first time I ever canceled anything. They're like, we'll let you go, but don't make a habit out of it. And I was like, oh, thank you for letting me keep my account.
Yeah, because I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories of people canceling one item and like they close their account.
Yep. Yeah. And
I'm like, I love buying from this store. I don't want that happening to me. So
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Very selective.
That Jetfire is worth every penny.
Yeah. With
it's
the goofy
good.
face.
It's got multiple faces.
Multiple goofy faces.
Yeah, they're not that goofy. Not every time, not every time, Bumblebee sucks, but every other time Takara has put out an MP and they've taken shitty photos of it, it's always better in hand. It's always better in hand. Bumblebee, no, it's just as bad in hand, but everything else is better once you fix the hips on Ironhide.
I still can get past the whole hound neck head thing, That was the beginning of the goofiness for me.
Hound's fine. I haven't touched him much since I put him on the shelf, but
I don't know what I care about. I don't collect Transformers anymore. What the fuck do I care? It doesn't matter to me. I literally collect like Transformers that don't transform. So you can't really say I collect a Transformer anymore except name only.
Well, you finished that. So I just disassembled the Kang toy Predicate and put him back into bot mode before I put him back into beast mode. And that set is really, really good.
Yeah, I split mine in 4 parts. Yeah.
Oh, so you just for gravity?
Just so it wouldn't fall over until I get around to actually doing the display, because I've been like going through all the boxes and just putting things on the shelves without actually displaying them, just so I can get them off the floor and get the boxes thrown away and put away and all that stuff. And that monstrosity was like just one of those things that was just there, and I was like, it was on the floor, and I'm like, oh man, that's gonna take a long time to take apart, transform back into beast mode. I'm just gonna so I pull the arms off. Literally the one shelf of the Detolf just has an arm there. The other one just has like a torso and legs and stuff, and the sword.
And that's the thing though, since you just did it and you just put it together, like it is far more elegant and simple than it seems when you're first learning how everything works.
I'll honestly tell you, Nate, the whole time I did not enjoy the experience at all. And I was like, I just don't like transforming these complex Transformers anymore. I just don't. Yeah. I had no enjoyment at all watching videos, like making sure I got it right. I didn't want to break it, and then putting it all together and making sure everything looked real nice. And then I was like, trying to put the legs on the freaking waist, and like I'm like, oh, now the head's all moved, the horns are all fucked up and everything. I gotta straighten it all back up again. I'm like, yeah, I was doing monkey pants and that whole weird like half circle transformation around the pelvis area, and I was like, how the fuck does this go in? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh, it just sits there. It looks like it goes in, but it's not actually in. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Man, fuck that. Yeah, I'm good. I realized that once I transform them, I'm not one of those guys that just grabs it off the shelf and goes, oh, let's see how I do it by myself again. Bleep, 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 bleep. No. Once I'm done and it's in a mode, it's going to stay that way forever. Ever and ever.
Right. Today's April's birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday, April! Happy birthday, April!
Did you see the card that or the happy birthday picture I posted on Facebook?
No, I don't social media.
Oh, here I'll post it in here.
Real classy.
Let's see here.
Are you putting it in memes, lobby, or
right there on here?
That's funny.
It's for our listeners, it's a drawing replicating the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, but it says "Happy Birthday," and then on Will Smith it says "Me," and on Chris Rock it says "Your booty."
Did you draw that?
No, I didn't draw that.
Oh, okay. Well, you are an artist. I just thought maybe you drew.
No, I didn't draw that.
Drew a girl or a card for her. That's all.
I stole it from Google image search. So the artist goes uncredited.
On the 25th will be my wedding anniversary.
No.
How many
14 years.
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
I pay attention to your wife's posts.
Why? There's so many of them. How can you?
I know there is a lot. There are a lot of.
You probably know more about my life and my daily things than I know.
I think I do, actually. I think I do.
Is there anything else in your life that you've been faithful to for 14 years?
Ooh. Or
do you have? So I don't have any friends left from way back when. Sucks. I was super bad communicator. So yeah, I don't have like any of the high school guys that I chit chat with anymore. So,
well, in that sense, I still talk to Sean, and he's my BFF, and I've known him since like my junior year of high school. Gary, and talk to him from time to time, and a lot of the other people I don't usually communicate with too much. So I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel. I am a recluse. I am becoming a recluse. I had to go out on Wednesday.
What is that from? I'm a loner, Dottie. Why am I blanking on that?
Pee-wee Herman.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
I had to go out on Wednesday to talk about a torturous day. I had to go out first. I had to go to the DMV and to get my picture taken for my license. Right. That was just a fucking master class in how fucking stupid people are around here, man. Holy shit. You get to your number, right? They call your number when you're ready, for you. There's two fucking doors. One on the right, one on the left. There's a big fucking yellow sign that says counter 1. Big fucking black arrow points to the right door. Counter 1, right arrow, right? Another big yellow sign right underneath that one with the arrow that points to the left and says counter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? It's not even a 50-50 chance at this point. It's just like you're fucking stupid if you don't know where you're going, right? So I swear to God, I am not lying. 5 people in front of me didn't know what fucking door to go through. 5 of them. It says it right on your ticket. Counter whatever number. They even call it over the fucking loudspeaker. A102, counter 1. So first batter up was a kid. He was about 18, I think he was, right? Tall fucking goofy dude walked in. He was looking at his ticket, looking up at the fucking sign, looking down at his ticket. The dude around the corner had to go, John, you're over in the right room on the counter 1. Oh, okay, thanks. He went in. Then we got the 92-year-old lady who was coming to get her fucking driver's license fucking picture taken. Couldn't fucking read. Her fucking prescription was fucked or something like that. I'm like, oh, that's for you. That's wonderful. And she's getting her license again. Wonderful. Right? Mm. She goes into the fucking wrong room, into the test room. Then there was the fucking Joe Dirt. He was next, had the fucking hat, the long fucking hair in the back. Hey, Betty, I'm not sure. We get some of that Budweiser Yingling, just walked right in. Fucking no. Hey, sir, you're in the wrong. It literally took fucking an extra 25 minutes of my day away from just for fucking stupidity.
You just described a deleted scene from the movie Idiocracy.
It really? Probably. There was one woman that was there. She was a housewife. She walked right into the right door. She was done in and out. And I was like, "Hey, good, great, all right." And she was
probably equally exasperated.
And the thing that sucks is like right there on the fucking ticket, it says, there's 3 people ahead of you. And what they don't tell you is that the people that go in the other room, they get the test taken. They get they go in front of you to get their picture taken after their test is done. And so fuck you. They're up first. So I had to wait about fucking 8 people in before I could fucking go in there. Mm. And then they were in there like the fucking old ladies are, I just got back surgery. I can't sit up to get the picture taken right. I was like, oh my God. There's no blue dot on the camera. I'm like, oh no. Christ. It was fucking terrible.
You should have offered to hold her up.
So that was the first misery that I had to go through. And then right after that, I had to go to the fucking dentist. I have some fucking cavities fucking filled. That was fucking, I'm still in pain from that. 2 days later, my fucking mouth is still fucking sore. Man. So that was my day. That was my Wednesday.
Why do you think people are so resistant to driverless cars?
Because they're not in control.
Because they never watched Knight Rider when they were kids.
Yeah. Let's fucking get this done, people. Like, a lot of us have stupid, pointless ass jobs, and we should all be working towards having robot maids and driverless cars so I can have my Jetsons life. And I don't get it. Like, then we don't have to worry about if grandma can see. Load her in the car. Doesn't matter.
I know them sound like a Lance words there, friend. Wouldn't you say there, Levy?
Say your coat is a bit of a brown color.
Yeah. Automation. And then everyone's afraid of AI. Why are you so afraid of AI? Don't you want to be lazy and have things drive you around and do shit for you?
I already have that. That's what April's for.
Right. I'm afraid of AI because of the conversation.
Right? Who's going to spend $4,000 on some fucking mow your lawn robot when I got the fucking wife?
What were you saying, Nate?
I don't remember.
I know it tends to make people fucking lose track of their thoughts when I say things like that. She was so excited when she tried out the new lawnmower today, though. So excited because it has like, the self-propelled, switch on it now. Because the old girl was getting a little old, so I had to help her out a little bit. Get her a self-propelled, lawnmower. But there's so you have like
seriously talk about your wife like a mule.
I call her old horse. Anyway, so there's the handle you squeeze on it, push the start button, and it starts up the mower, right? You have to hold the handle, right? Well, they have a new handle on the bottom where you have to pull that and it'll get up and go for you, right? But the best part is that there's a little dial in the middle, and on the left side there's a turtle, and on the right side there's a rabbit. So it tells you how fast it's gonna go. And there's a turbo boost button, Levy. I shit you not. There's a turbo boost button. It's the best. It's awesome.
Is there also a red light scanner on the front?
There's R2 LED lights on the front. Yep. I want to mow in the dark, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all the bells and whistles.
But like, does it scan back and forth?
No, I should get one of those though.
Make that neat whoosh whoosh sound.
Yeah, that'd be kind of awesome. But
you don't enjoy yard work at all, Jen?
So she tried it out for the first time, Nate, right? And it went by, and she's like, "Whoa!" And it like just started taking her. She's like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah. No, those self-propelled ones will self-propel.
Gave me a flashback to like fucking Return of the Jedi with fucking Wicket holding onto the fucking speeder bike, like. But she had a ball. She was having a lot of fun. So she's all happy with it now.
I bet.
I told her, I said, I'll buy you like one of the Mario go-karts that fucking you can drive around. I'll drive that around, fucking mow the lawn then. No, too expensive. I'm like, all right.
You bring up Wicket. Did I talk about episode 1 the other night when we were playing D&D?
What did I remember?
So I sat my daughter down. I was like, all right, we're going to watch this other Star Wars, and I think you'll like it. And you know what I was counting on? I was counting on fucking Jar Jar. And I was like, when I watched this 20 years ago, I wanted to kill George Lucas along with everybody else. I was so frustrated. And the motherfucker knew what he was doing. Like, he made it so that I could get my daughter to sit down and watch Star Wars with me. And I could watch a Star Wars with my daughter without her being scared, because every time something scary happened, Jar Jar was there 1 second later to say something stupid. And while that killed it for me 20 years ago, it made my daughter love the movie. And
you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. No, he actually served a purpose. I couldn't believe it. So if you're out there and you still hate Jar Jar and you don't have kids yet that are like 4 or 5, just wait. I'm not saying go have kids, because that's another whole can of worms. But if you're edging up on that, George Lucas is not the asshole you thought he was.
You want to enjoy the Phantom Menace? Have a kid.
Yeah. Anyway,
go make a baby.
I know it's
going to be tough for some Star Wars fans out there, but
Just like, did you ever see that Pete Holmes stand up when he's talking about how he's like, yeah, it's like, depending on how your day goes, you could just go blow up a chick with your kid. He's like, yeah, it's crazy that you could just do that if you wanted to. He's like, poof. He's like, now you have something to take care of the rest of your life. He's like,
he's funny.
Like, that's amazing. Yeah, he is.
He's really funny. Did you ever hear the one where he was talking about how he likes to answer solicitor calls with a really wacky voice?
No.
But then he did that one time, and it turned out to be his credit card company trying to report suspicious activity to him. So it's like, hello. He's like, yes, Mr. Holmes. Yeah, this is he. He's like, yeah, we'd like to report suspicious activity on your credit card. And he's like, well, and then like, now that I committed to the bit, like, I can't just like revert back to my normal voice. I got to kind of like ease into it. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, how does it? Thank you so much for letting me know. It was really funny.
That's funny. He is a funny dude.
Yeah.
I never watched any of his stand-ups before. I've seen clips of him here and there, but it seems like they'd be pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I always liked the episode 1. When I first saw it, I drug like everybody else that I knew to go see it like 11 times. And then when I got a little bit older, the whole mob mentality started sinking into my brain. They're like, yeah, it's not good. It sucks. It's not that good. I was like, yeah, episode 1 blew. It fucking sucks. When reality, it was episode 2. That fucking sucked.
Oh, 100%. Episode 1 was always better than episode 2.
Yeah. And I fell for the whole, follow the lemming over the cliff type of situation. And then I went back and I watched it years later. I was like, I like this movie. What am I thinking?
So what is everyone's problem with episode 2 then? Is it just like the whole Anakin Padme relationship?
Bad acting, terrible acting, bad story,
bad direction.
Bad directing.
Because those are good actors. So
it was bad acting though.
Yeah, but they were probably told to deliver it like 70s stage play. Like they were probably he was like, I want this to match the feel or whatever it was bad direct, like because they're capable.
There's probably a cut of the Clone Wars out there in George Lucas's vault, which has like Oscar-worthy performances from both Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. But the ones where he told him to play it like a 70s stage play is the cuts that he decided to edit into the film, or the takes that he decided to edit into the film.
All right, so you see this plank of wood. I want you to model after that. Just do what this does. I was on Instagram earlier today, just flipping through the reels. There was some chick on there. She's probably some Twitch, celeb or whatever. And she's like, okay, I'm back. And she like took this piece of wood off her chair and put it down. And she's like, why is it? She's like, now listen. And she's like, I have to bring something up. She's like, why is it that the stats or for the people who follow me or are watching live go up when the piece of wood's here? She's like, but as soon as I come back, all these people leave. They cut to some dude. He's like, can you put the wood back on? Can you put the wood back on? She called it Planky. Planky. All right, Hayden, I want you to act just like Planky here. I hate sand.
Yeah. Oh God. It's the whiny. It's just nobody would fall in love with either one of those characters. They're not amazing. Neither one of them, and no one would fall in love with a dude just because he floats a pear to you across the table. Fuck that scene.
There was two things I saw. There was one was a comic or something like that. It had somebody hand drew. It was like, or no, it was, I forget what it goes. It was, I think they just put words on the thing. Might have been in the multiverse fucking group on Facebook, but they're like, why don't you just quit the Jedi? You can keep your lightsaber and just fucking hang out with your hot wife. I got tons of money. Who cares? Right? Yeah. Directed by, George Lucas. The other thing I saw was this cut where someone, if you remember, he was standing out on the balcony, like on Naboo or whatever, after he had the bad dream. And he was standing there, and she's like, I don't want to interrupt you. He's like, it's fucking has damn thing. He's like, I see you can stay. Somebody put a toilet in front of him and just had him pissing in the toilet the whole fucking time. It's great. And he like turns to her and he like stops. He stops going in the water. It's all over the floor. You hear him hitting the floor, and she's like, I don't want to bother you. He's like, no, stay. And he's like walking through him, like walking through wet puddles. It's fucking hilarious. The sound editing on that fucking clip is fucking 100% great. I'll have to find it.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I'll have to find it and share it with you guys.
Sounds like 5 minutes well spent.
Yeah, it was fantastically funny.
Oh. Anyway, episode 1.
Yeah. Episode 1.
I loved watching the climax scene over and over again. I guess that was my sophomore year of college. That was a thing. Just went up to Fordham Road, got the bootleg VHS on the street, popped that puppy in. Some dude walking by in the front aisle. Gorgeous.
I saw that. Is it the Samsung or HP? One of the laptops was THX certified. I was like, why? How was that? Where is this? How is that doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
But
you guys both made it to the theater for Dungeons and Dragons, right?
I did not see it yet. I did not.
It's pretty great.
I haven't seen it yet.
I've been eager, waiting for a decent copy to come out, but one has not.
I have kind of been waiting for that myself. Only because, again, I don't have the opportunity to leave the house all that often. So,
Did you watch the last episode of Picard, Levy?
I did. I did. Yeah, it was pretty fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they did Star Wars. They did Star Wars, though.
Yes, they did. Yeah, that was pretty much. I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is Return of the fucking Jedi.
Oh, they did Jedi. I was wondering if they did Empire, because Empire is fantastic.
Is Worf the Wookiee? But yeah, they pretty much did. Well, actually, it was like a combination of Return of the Jedi and the Matrix. Matrix, not Revolutions. The third
Reloaded.
one.
Oh,
maybe it was Revolutions, because the second one was Reloaded. So yep. So Revolutions, the chase scene when they were making that mad dash to get back to Zion, and Jada Pinkett's character was piloting the ship and shit. That whole it was like that, but then it was also kind of like the trench run too, and they were having to shoot the turrets and everything, and it's like, holy shit, this is fucking Star Wars, man.
Because they had the towers above on the board Q for they were flying through and shooting them. Yeah. Beverly was taking them all out.
Yeah, how awesome was that though? Freaking Beverly taking tactical. That was great. Dr. Crusher taking tactical, and she's like, a lot's happened in 20 years. And she's like a crack shot with the Enterprise phasers, man.
Yeah, that was good stuff. There was a interview with the showrunner. I forget what his name is, but they're like, "Hey,
Terry Metalis."
Yeah, he was like, he said it best. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't want anything really to happen to anybody." He's like, "I just wanted to take my action figures off the floor and put them all right back on the shelf, real nice how they were."
Yep. Just give them one last hurrah, and let them. Just let them all remember him like that, and I think that's great. I would not have liked any of them to die.
No.
So, we're not spoiling anything for you, are we, Nate?
No, I actually haven't seen any of the show, and
okay,
I take it that was a mistake on my part. But
are you a fan of the original Next Generation series?
I watched it as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that I could talk about any specific episode.
Well, fuck you then.
Them sounding like alliance words there, friend. I'm sure you're not getting that reference either, right now.
No, I'm not. It's right over my head.
That's a Firefly thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've seen the Firefly movie, but I have not watched the show.
Yeah.
See, there he is again.
Yep, I know. Funny, sir. You always find yourself in an alliance-friendly bar on U Day, looking for a quiet drink. You should watch. You should watch the Firefly series. I believe it's on Hulu. If you have Hulu.
Yep, we have Hulu.
Yeah. So watch the Firefly series and then watch the movie again. Probably one of the best sci-fi series ever made. And it had so much potential, but Fox fucked it all up because they had to air the episodes out of order and had to change the different nights that it would air on. So it couldn't get an audience when it was on TV.
Yeah, so weird.
But
I watched it whenever possible, or maybe I was watching it in syndication. I don't know.
It's fantastic.
Or weird.
So, but give it a shot. Yeah. Check it out on Hulu.
All right,
it's a great show.
I did watch The Mandalorian.
I have not actually kept up with the last couple episodes of that.
I'm seeing, and
I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, go ahead. I'm not too concerned about spoilers anymore. So, I actually haven't had much drive to watch or keep up with it this season. I don't know why.
There are some amazing action scenes that are just beautiful to behold and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's really something special on like a Star Wars level.
Yeah.
Especially coming off of Andor, which was like no aliens. It was all humans.
Yeah.
And then
that's weird for a Star Wars series.
Yeah, it was. With this prison that they were all in, it was all like white dudes. In the realm of Star Wars. It was just humans. And I don't remember there being more than 10 aliens in that entire series, but there probably were. Anyhow, Mandalorian's chock full of it, and there's this jetpack fight scene. Just get to it. Just behold the glory. it's an amazing fighter jet type thing.
That's a good description. Amazing fighter jet type thing.
Yeah. Scaled down. It's just it's lovely. And that's all I can say because you haven't seen it.
I watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. You guys watch that?
I have not.
No?
No, I have not.
No.
Stupid fun, as I would call it. I think it was stupid fun.
Is that on our favorite streaming device?
You mean Jetflix Plus? It could be. If you want to. There is one on there that has like, the slots thing on it, but I actually pulled one down the other night that doesn't have it in that stuff anymore.
That would be lovely.
So I'll throw that up there.
Anya Taylor-Joy, she plays Princess Peach, right?
Yep. Actually plays a pretty good voice acting.
Yeah. I can look at that girl all day. That woman. Sorry.
That's a little creepy there, Levy.
Yeah, I can look at that. I can look at that woman all day.
That girl all day, just riding her bike around.
No, I just think she's very, very beautiful. She's got like these big anime eyes.
I was gonna say she has a very an alien look to her.
Who is this?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
She was in that series you guys watched with they were playing chess, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that series called? I can't remember
now.
Nate watched it with his wife.
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit. That's it. Yeah, April watched it too, and I never got around to watching it.
It was really good, and actually, a guy that used to work with me out in Encino did a lot of the special effects for that. So it was cool to see his name pop up in the credits.
Wait, there was special effects for Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, because she visualizes all of her chess moves.
Oh, okay. I thought they were doing like CGI chess pieces.
Yeah, I mean there is and there isn't. So like she'll be laying in bed watching like the shadows move across the ceiling and their chess pieces. It's like really beautiful art. But so yeah, August Coleman used to work with us doing wedding video bullshit, and now he's doing that. So
nice,
good for him.
You Nate, did you ever watch Corridor Crew on YouTube?
No.
If you like if you like visual effects and stuff like that, and like learning how they're made and just like learning behind the scenes stuff about it, you should watch them on every Saturday. They post a video of like them reacting to scenes of good and bad CGI, good and bad stunt work, good and bad animation. So every Saturday morning they post a video. Yeah, about that. So it's really cool shit.
Yeah, I watch that religiously.
Yeah, I especially like that. I especially like the good and bad stunts. Those are fucking awesome.
And it's cool because they bring in like a lot of people that worked on the movies.
Yeah, it's not just them. They
stuff. Yeah,
they bring people who are actually like making these movies and whatnot. And they come in. They actually talk about the scenes that they worked on.
Do they bring people in that worked on shitty scenes so they can be like, yeah? They talk about their less than stellar work. Yeah,
they had the one dude, the special effects supervisor from Green Lantern, on. He's like, I know. He's like, but it was really fun to work on. We didn't think of that it was going to be that big of a bomb. Back when we were working on it,
right?
We were just having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh man,
there's about 90 of those now, Levy.
Nah, it's a lot. Yeah.
Nobody liked that movie. I did. I thought it was fun. That's the thing. It was fun. It wasn't good
fun for me.
No,
I didn't like it.
You might have actually known something about Green Lantern. Like me as a dirty casual, I was just like, this is fun. Ryan Reynolds is funny,
He is.
He is.
But Hal Jordan's not.
Yeah. No, he's not.
He's fearless. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just was a wrong casting.
Maybe Kyle Rayner.
Yeah. It's still should have been fucking what's his name's role. Help me out, Nate. What's his name? Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Should have been Nathan Fillion's fucking role.
But the thing is though, like Nathan Fillion's a comedic actor too. but he's also shown that he can be Hal Jordan.
Right. He can play like very serious fucking roles, but it's harder acting to do comedy than it is to do drama. And if you can do comedy, it's easy for you to slip into a dramatic, role because you can do it. So Ryan Reynolds has just always been known for his comedy.
Yeah.
There's not when you go, oh, I remember him in so-and-so when he was so, serious and dramatic and he won that Oscar. No. It's like, I remember him fucking filling up those fucking donuts with the dog's fucking semen and giving it to the fucking,
Van Wilder.
Van Wilder. Yeah. Right. No, that's where he's known for.
What about, Giles from Buffy?
Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah.
The unfortunately named Anthony Stewart Head. His daughter. Well, yeah, he's fairly old now, but his daughter was just in something that I was looking at.
How old is she, Levy? Before you go any further.
No, she's an adult.
I like watching Anthony Stewart Head's daughter.
She's like a little peach. Lordy.
No, it wasn't Shadow and Bone. Is it Daisy Head or is it Emily Head?
Yeah, talking about trying to find things, man. You think you could find one Jedi pissing in the toilet on episode 2, but no. It's like forever. So forever hard to get to. There was a YouTube clip, but it wasn't the right one. It wasn't done. It wasn't the same one. It was a bad parody of the parody.
Oh, she was in Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. She played the
Druid?
The wizard. No, the Druid was played by Sophia Lillis. No, she played the Red Wizard.
Oh.
No.
Speaking about the Red Wizard, what'd you think about Q showing up? Oh, sorry, spoilers. Q showing up at the end of Picard there.
Well, I was looking into things, and I guess some months ago, Terry Matalas tweeted something about if he would were to do a spin-off of Star Trek Picard, he would call it Star Trek Legacy. And so that got people speculating and shit like that. And then they, I guess in an interview or whatever, he was talking about Jack Crusher and how, I guess basically he confirmed that Paramount does have plans for the Jack Crusher character. There's no word as to whether they're going to turn or make a series with this new Enterprise crew. But I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that actually.
Yeah.
Because I liked all those characters.
Yeah. I agree.
Rafaela, Seven, Geordie's daughter. I can't remember her name because Mika Burton, his real life daughter, played Alondra.
We'll just call her LaForge. Make it easy.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Yeah, I liked all those characters, and actually, I thought it was really cool seeing Mika Burton, with her dad on Star Trek. I thought that was really cool. What did you think of them renaming the Titan?
I was just thinking about that when they said they were doing that. I thought it was going to say the USS Picard instead of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe the other one got blown up and they didn't really show it.
Yeah. Well, no, because they said actually, no, I read somewhere that was actually going to be the ceremony to decommission the F. They were they were supposed to decommission the F. Okay. That was going to be that Frontier Day thing was going to be its big send off. But I find it weird because like every successive iteration of the Enterprise has been bigger than the previous one. And now they're actually kind of going backwards and making it a smaller ship. Yeah, they did that with what was the F? It was the Voyager type of looking ship, right? No. The F that was an Odyssey class. That's longer than the Sovereign class. Oh, okay. The one that Shelby was in. Yeah, it had the same. Yeah, that's an Odyssey class. It's okay. It's similar, but instead of having a central neck, it actually had two neck pylons coming up from the central hull. But that's actually longer
online,
than the Sovereign class. What's that?
That's the one they were using for all the online stuff, right?
Well, in Star Trek Online, they actually have all the different enterprises, but the Odyssey class did originate from Star Trek Online. It was part of like a design contest where they put it out to the public. Somebody, the people submitted their designs, and then they picked this one, and then they like, it wasn't like exact, but they like kind of took it and refined it and made it into like a 3-dimensional model from his 2-dimensional drawing and shit. But it's very similar to the original design. But yeah, but I mean, like, even though it's longer than the Sovereign class, it's actually still, in terms of volume and mass, it's still about the same size as the Galaxy class.
Yeah, bigger isn't always better, right?
But the thing is, like the Titan is a Neo Constitution class, and that's actually considerably smaller than the Odyssey class. So I just thought it was weird because usually the Enterprise is if it's not the flagship, it's in the same class as the flagship.
Yeah. Well,
the fleet,
they the original was a Constitution class, so kind of full circle thing there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I was reading they were supposed to do that Section 31 as a series, but then they changed it to a movie because they want to not oversaturate with all these shows. They don't want to do a Marvel. So they're trying to pull back a little bit, but yeah, I would like to see that show.
Yeah,
it would fit right in there with everything. I would like to watch more of that time period.
Yeah,
right, Nate?
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, you guys were talking about Star Trek, and I was actually watching the Fans Toys recorder reveal video where they're showing all the tapes popping. I'm watching it now. It just premiered 10 seconds ago.
Oh.
So there's a link there if you guys want to look at a Transformer doing Transformer things.
No.
Real quick, though, before we move on from Star Trek, the one thing I do like in the 9th episode when Picard said, the one thing that I missed was the carpet. Like, I wholeheartedly agree because like modern Star Trek bridges are like, they're dark and like they're mirrory, like all over. Like the floor, everything looks like it's made of glass.
I'm sure the special effects teams love that.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, like it's interesting to see how like bridge design has changed from like the 90s to now, and it's like I kind of like the old Enterprise D bridge design. It's bright, it's colorful. It's maybe that's just my nostalgia bias talking. I don't know.
And Riker was like, "Oh, I missed that voice."
Yeah, that was nice that they got recordings of Majel Barrett.
He got his leg up. You see that? He got his leg up.
I saw that too. Yeah. He put his leg up on the console. It's like a glove, man. You just fit right back into the old roles.
So what have you been watching, Nate? That's been really cool and interesting.
That's it. I watched The Mandalorian. I just watched this Fans Toys recorder thing.
Well, I don't mean like in the past 10 minutes. I mean like past month or so.
Excuse me.
No, that's really it. And then we watched John Oliver. That's it. I don't watch TV anymore. The TV is on and it's playing fucking.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm watching this Fans Toys thing. They're playing the Soul Calibur intro music or Soul Blade intro music.
Are they?
Yeah. Remember the old Soul Blade on PlayStation 1? Mm-hmm. It was the home version of Soul Edge, arcade game. This is the intro theme. This is actually also the end credits theme for Maximilian Dude's live streams. Whenever he signs off for the night, he plays an end credit sequence with this song playing. Nice. And I immediately recognized it.
Well, I was listening to you guys, not the song. I left it on mute, but it's cool that you can do both.
You can multitask.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm always impressed when people can, but I need to be focused on one thing, or it's gonzo.
I think I want to tweet this to Maximilian Dude.
There was
they're ripping you off, man.
Like I can listen to music, and do like coding and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
but I can't
that
listen
helps.
to a podcast and like do coding because it's like I'm trying to concentrate on these words here in front of me while I'm listening to other words, and it's kind of hard to focus on which words are in my brain right at the moment.
Yeah. Yep. So no, I haven't watched. I'm listening to the Drizzt book. I'm on like book 32 or 33. Yeah, we don't get a lot of TV time in the house, and I also don't know what I should be trying to watch. So I throw my hands up and paint something instead and go to bed.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's all right. I'd prefer not to watch a bunch of television. Like it's good for this. And if it's really going to move me, but it's like Levy just said, oh, they're doing Return of the Jedi plus Matrix. You know, when somebody says to me, hey, Nate, you have to watch this. I've never seen a story like this before. This is truly unique. Then I'll put down everything I'm doing and go watch that show. But as long as somebody's like, oh, you know what? This reminds me of Seinfeld plus, do you listen to Critical Role? It's like Seinfeld plus Critical Role. You know, it's like, okay, cool. Now I know what I'm walking into. Sounds great, but you know, give me something that you can't compare to anything else.
Right. It's just like right now there's like a lot of nostalgia out there, and you know, especially with the Star Trek thing.
And I guess part of it is to like, I'm making excuses here. I'm bummed that I can't sit around and watch television. I am. I wish I could work it into my schedule some way, but then I wouldn't be able to do the other things I do that aren't being a good husband, you know? So it's like you got to pick your battles. So I get about an hour a week where I sit and watch a show or two, and Rebecca and I will sit and try and watch television every other night. But the rest of the time, like, she wants to read and I want to paint.
Yeah. I just usually do all my shit after the family goes to bed. Then I can do whatever the hell I want to do.
Well, you can stay up. I can't. I'm out at like 10:30 typically, and then the kids are up 6:37, which means I'm up.
Yeah, it's just let the wife take care of that.
I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said that she's not. You know, that she does 90% of the work. That's just how it is. But I still have to do 10% at that hour.
Yeah. Nah, I get up around 10.
My body doesn't know how to do that anymore.
Levy, what you doing?
Oh, I just tweeted that video to Maximilian, dude.
How about you, Levy? Besides watching Picard and stuff like that, what else you been looking at?
Okay, cool? Here's something. All right, so earlier today, I watched a reaction video on YouTube. This couple watched RoboCop, right? And it's a reaction video and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I haven't watched the original RoboCop in a while, but they, the scene where he goes to arrest Dick Jones, right after he arrested Clarence Boddicker and shit, and when he tries to arrest him, Directive 4 initiates, and you know, and then he starts, Dick Jones starts monologuing, explaining Directive 4 and everything, how it results in automatic shutdown and everything. But think about it, he didn't shut down. Right? He still kept functioning after Directive 4. He resisted it. Right?
Okay.
But if you realize after that point, the real Murphy came out. It became more prominent. Right?
Right.
So what I'm thinking, I don't know if this is obvious to other people.
When he went to his house, right? And he was
no, he went to his house long before that.
Oh, okay.
Because that was when he had to fight the Ed 209, was badly damaged, and then he went into the parking garage, and then the police, the SWAT team, tried to kill him, destroy him, and then Lewis drove up and rescued him and got him out of there.
Got it.
But yeah, so Directive 4 was supposed to shut him down if he tried to arrest an OCP executive officer. But but it didn't. He still functioned. He still continued to function. He resisted whatever. But then if you recall, like after that, he he became more like Murphy. And so I don't know if this was intended. I don't know if this was, obvious to anyone else, but like I suddenly realized, like, well, maybe it did shut him down. The shutdown did happen, but it only shut down the RoboCop program, and it allowed Murphy's personality to reassert itself.
Okay.
And that's why he behaved more human afterwards.
I'm with Jed. I think it was a gradual progression triggered by the return to his home.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I get that, but like he all that factors in, but it wasn't immediately following that moment is when he really started to become more like his old self again. And I think that because the Directive 4 did shut down the RoboCop program, but Murphy, through sheer force of will and personality, was able to reassert himself and take control of the program and the body.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Valid theory.
So, yeah, and I mean, nobody's ever talked about that, in things I've ever read about RoboCop and stuff like that. It was just something that came to my mind.
Right.
So
yeah, he had a set of directives, and then he was following those directives. He was just kind of a passenger.
Yeah, and he was. Exactly.
And then he took over. He was in control of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like up to that point, he was still very robotic and everything. He had flashes of memory, of his past life. As he was walking through the house, he was seeing images of his past life and whatnot. But he was still very much a machine.
Mm-hmm. He's more a machine now than man.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, actually, very much so, because there really isn't a whole lot of him left biologically. I mean, really, it's just his face and most of his brain. Like everything else, and his eyes, I think, are still biological, but everything else is cybernetic.
I remember when they were redoing him, they're like, "Why'd you keep the arm?" Oh, we could save it. He's like, "Lose it."
Yeah,
lose the arm.
Yeah. I thought we agreed on total body prosthesis. Now lose the arm.
Oh,
yeah, that is a great movie. That's a great movie.
It is a great movie. It's super violent.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also a Christ allegory. I don't know. Did we talk about this on the show before? I think we might have. But yeah, he's somebody who died and was resurrected. And when he died, he was basically crucified. If you remember, he had his arms out to the sides. And as they were shooting him, well, actually one of his arms, because the other arm got blown off. But still, and he's resurrected.
I think they did. Did they shoot him in the hands first?
They blew off his right hand, and then they blew off his right arm at the shoulder.
Stigmata, I feel like they.
Yeah. They nailed him to the cross, right? And then at the end of the movie, when he's walking out from behind that wreckage and stuff, it looks like he's walking on water.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that.
And that's not actually a fan theory. That has actually been confirmed by Paul Verhoeven
I have
that imagery is intentionally there for that purpose.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing more stock market stuff today, and the wife said something like, "Why don't you buy Hershey stock?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like Hershey. I'm like, I said, that's not really on my radar. I said, I don't even know if they have stock. Let me go look at it. I'm like, oh yeah, they do. How about that? And usually, like in the E-Trade, they have like little news feeds underneath the stock information, like for like latest news on that stock. Yep. And I saw that back in March, they had the same type of issue with their Hershey bar. For International Women's Day, they had five. It was in Canada. It was like a promo thing. It was for their cookies and cream Hershey bar, right? And they had it was something like her like HER, and then she SHE,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then they had 5 different spokeswomen, and one of them was a trans woman, and it was a big hoodoo about using a trans. What's the word? What's the right term? Trans female for the.
It depends.
Trans woman. If they identify as a woman, then yeah, trans woman.
Well, this was like
trans
weird.
Woman. Some identify as they, which
it's like a binary spirit, LGBT, something like that. I'm not up with all the latest.
Then they probably
genres.
identify as a they.
Yeah. So, but the dude was dressed up like a girl, so he was definitely, down with the, the look. But yeah, they used their picture for the front of the Hershey bar thing. Right. And there was a big stink about that too. But to be fair, right now, think about it this way. I was going to bring this up. To be fair, a lot of dudes are dressing up as chicks and taking away a lot of women's rights to win stuff or be good at things. Just basically a guy going in there, and it just reminds me of the South Park episode when we just had the big beefcake dude. It's just it's doing some type of women's sport or whatever. Yeah, because he identifies as a woman now.
But are they are people doing that intentionally? And I think far and few between. Maybe there's 3 people in the United States that are doing that. But
I know, wasn't one of them on the cover of Time?
One of them was on the cover of the Time because they were. Actually, you know what? I have no basis to speak on this. I don't.
Wasn't
I don't
one of the
know.
other ones won a medal for swimming too, or something like that? I think.
So yeah, but the goal wasn't to compete as a woman, but be a man and pull one over on the whole sporting industry. The goal was to feel comfortable with herself, and then she also likes swimming. Where do I compete? I'm not a man. That's her line of thinking.
No. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at that before there was the standard, group of people that would go, oh man, another one of those people, cross-dressing, let her give me my Yingling lager, type of thing, right? And then now, but there's this other group that is emerging now of women who are saying that it's not fair that men are taking away their thing they work so hard to get to. So they're not going, I can't believe it's one of those that's just not fair because it's a dude and he's more physically adept than in this category, right?
Right.
So you have this new group of specifically of women who are saying that they're trans females or trans whatever, however you want to identify, is taking away from I don't want to say real women, taking away from
biological women.
Biological, thank you, Levy. I was searching for genetic. No, that's not biological women. Taking away their thing they worked so hard for. So that's what I was saying, Nate. It's this whole other.
Yeah, that is a whole other thing.
Is emerging.
I don't know. People are gross. I think that people should play sports and try and be the best they can at them. And I think that we should just do that and not pay people so much to fucking be children and play sports.
Well, when I was growing up, there was these 2 or 3 dudes that wanted to go out for field hockey, and it was it was all female thing all the time. It was never there was no dudes in because they wore skirts and shit like that, and they let them play, but they had to wear the skirts and everything and stuff like that. And they were more than happy to do that, right? And they were running around and they were kicking ass. And the other schools were that's not fair. You can't have them play. You can't let them play in competition. It was this big thing. So yeah, that shit's been going on for 30 years now, at least. Where girls wanted to play football, oh, you can't, you're gonna get hurt. Can't be responsible for a frail little girl getting hurt when you get tackled, type of thing. Yeah,
man. It should just be varsity and JV, and whatever you identify as, you can try out for both. And if you make varsity, you make varsity. If you make JV, you make JV.
But there's a reason why there's men's football and or there's men's basketball and basketball. Right?
In 99.9% of the cases, I'd agree with you. However, I have no business a professional female basketball player is going to mop the floor with me.
Oh, sure.
She's going to tear it up. She's going to just embarrass the crap out of me. I'm not even JV as far as basketball is concerned. So there are men who are awful at basketball, but might still like to play. And then there are going to be some women that will dominate them on the court. And like we should be able to play together. Like,
well, that's in a casual setting, but in a competitive setting, I think the
that's what
things
I'm
are
saying.
stacked kind of different.
Yeah, you put thing. Kobe and Jordan there, or
yeah. I'm saying if women or they want to compete in that field, like they should. There should be a national varsity, and it will have very few women because you're right. We're with the amount of testosterone we have, we're just slightly stronger, slightly faster currently. But
slightly. Is slightly the correct term there? I mean,
dude, I don't have to. We already know. I'm just going to make we're all going to sound like bigger assholes if we go into the.
Well, no, I don't think it makes you sound like an asshole because, I mean, do you think that men and women should be able to compete together in combat sports?
Sure.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
I don't know. I don't know, man, because I mean, yeah, someone like Gina Carano can hold her own, but I don't know. I feel that there's a safety issue there.
No, I mean, so everyone has to qualify for the level that they're going to participate at. So at a certain level, yes, it's just going to be two gigantic men beating the crap out of each other. And no woman is going to be on that field because they didn't qualify for it yet.
Do you think that if a woman would meet the correct weight, that she should be able to fight in a heavyweight boxing match with, say, like Tyson or someone like that?
I think that weight and perhaps I don't know, in order for it to be safe, you would have to also gauge like force per strike, right? You'd have to hit them, have them hit a metal plate and have it register the force per strike, and there would have to be a limit that they had to reach in order to compete at that level. And you would just set safety standards that way. But this separating nationalities, border, I think it's all stupid. I think that if we can get some people together to play a game,
there's difference between nationalities and borders and stuff like, and actual physical, like makeup.
I would be an idiot to argue otherwise. You're absolutely right. But I just think that by putting these boundaries on ourselves that aren't real boundaries, right? Like you just went with gender, but I gave you a very good example of a professional basketball player being able to kick my ass in, let's be honest, almost any sport at this point in time, right? But maybe I still want to play with some of those people. So
what if there's a trans, woman who female boxing, and she's in there and she's just kicking everybody's ass? Is that okay? Even though the same strike and all that stuff is met, no weight limit and stuff, because genetically she's a dude, right? So they are just stronger and they have in that type of situation, athletic wise, you put two athletes that are same weight, same, what did you say, force strike or whatever for the how they hit one,
which is not a real thing we do now. So this would have to be like,
but it will happen, right?
Under world of having everybody play together and
right, which is happening, which you're inserting trans females into a female sport, right?
Yeah,
could be soccer, could be boxing, could be wrestling, could be basketball, could be swimming, could be anything, right? Some probably or might be more equal and fair than the others, and the other ones are going to be pretty fucking lopsided from a point of view, right?
Yeah,
and you put weight restrictions on it. Now you're just basically saying, well, you have to meet, what's the restriction? What's the weight limit? Well, where are you making these like limits on, and where's the average coming from? Well, they say that's biased and unfair because you're taking it a genetic point of view. And then you're just back to, well, let's just separate the men and women anyway, in a sports situation. So It's always a good question. It's always good to ask, is this going to be fair, really? Or are we just doing it because we want to try to make everyone equal? But in reality, when it comes to some competitions, there is no equality because it's based on your actual physical makeup. Like you said.
Yeah, but
go and play basketball. Some female basketball player who's really good at it is going to wipe the floor with you, or she's just going to be 6'8" and bigger than you, and that's just how it is.
We're also not interested in watching competitions against people who are equal. Like we're not. We want somebody to win. So we want it to be close, sure. And we don't want it to be dangerous. So I see your point there. But we watch these things for the entertainment and the skill level. So if you've got somebody who is just beating the shit out of everybody, that's your anti-hero story, right? Like eventually a woman is going to come along that will kick the shit out of that day, and everyone will be able to celebrate that woman's achievement, and other women will follow her. And
what if that other woman is another trans female, and now you have just two dudes competing against each other? Then just doesn't seem fair at certain points. I think there's gonna even though there was a sense of equality, there's got to be, like you said, some type of limit to things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe this is a question for people in their 20s who are growing up with.
It's always a question for anybody. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
now you're segregating people on age.
I am ageist. I am an ageist because I find myself to be superior to most people.
Are you trying to say that people younger than you or have a lower IQ?
No, I'm trying to say that people, well, in general, I think that people who are younger than me have less life experience. I think that's in general.
Age is just a number,
general.
Someone may have traveled the world for 5 years, and they definitely have a lot more wise than I am.
That was my caveat.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to some places, but I have certainly not. I haven't done the whole backpacking thing where you actually struggle.
Right.
You
you get fucking you get abducted and held for fucking ransom in some fucking country, and then they get to pay it, and then you just get back on the trail.
Yeah, right? No, I'm waving at those people as I slide by on the rented yacht. Like I don't do
right.
that.
Levy,
anyway,
what do you think, Levy? A little quiet about this.
It's a topic I don't usually like putting my 2 cents into usually.
Yeah, it's touchy.
Yeah.
You say one thing the wrong way and everyone gets up in your grill about it, and then you're either all black and white about either for or you're against it, or it's just it's a gray area.
I like I said, I have concerns about safety in certain sports, especially combat sports, contact sports. Mm-hmm. I have concerns that because biologically men in general, not always, but in general, men are usually more. They're typically stronger, right? They have stronger builds, stronger muscles.
I've figured out the answer. I've got it. We just bring back the show American Gladiators. Have everyone compete that, because those women on there will kick the shit out of them. Like 90% of those fucking dudes.
Zap. She was the shit. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, if you're gonna let a larger weight class woman compete with a lower weight class male, or so, whatever it is, whatever the equation is, so that we can make it safe, we can make it fun, and these are supposed to be games, and we're supposed to be getting entertainment out of it, and we're not supposed to be yelling at each other about who's playing. We're supposed to be going woohoo.
Yeah, but you got to remember, some of these games are things that people have died playing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. I don't think that they should play football anymore. I've talked about this years ago on the show, I think, but I did work with Weed for Warriors, and these are all, it's both ex-football players and soldiers who need cannabis to deal with the post-traumatic stress disorder. And these football players, they all tell combat stories. You know, they're like, we're expected to go out there and do battle, and then they pump us full of morphine so that we can get through the game.
Modern Gladiator. That's all it is.
Yeah. I don't think that we should do it anymore. Like, people are, they're becoming rage monsters and beating up their wives and then having their dogs fight each other because they have trauma to the brain. They're getting all fucked up. I'm not saying every single football player has gone through this, but there are many a tale. And so stop it just for our entertainment, just so that one dude in Texas who owns an oil company can also make a bunch of money off of us watching football. Fuck that.
What would you replace it with?
I don't know. Reading books. I don't know if anyone's tried that in a while. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Bud Light commercials for the Super Book Bowl.
Yeah. Everybody, we could all help each other fix our houses up again, like we used, like in the 80s. Like, I remember that shit. I remember going over to, whoever my dad's buddy was who was working on their new deck, and that was what you did. You might watch the football game, but
you're just saying we should just be Amish at this point.
I'm saying we should help each other. I'm saying that we should look across at our neighbor and say, how can I help you, Bob?
What's really funny though? My neighbors right next to me, their names are Mike and Vanessa. So
anyway, I hope you got something funny out of that. Jesus.
It wasn't meant to be funny. I thought it was just a really good debate to have, a good be all, talk show serious about certain things.
Yeah, but that's the problem with today's society. You have a bunch of three idiots talking heads talking about things that they haven't researched.
Don't talk about Levy like that.
Hey,
I heard some news that the new Transformers movie is a mess, according to this site. They said that one of the reasons why there hasn't been a lot of marketing material with it because they've had to hire, I forget how many different editing teams to try to come in and fucking make sense of it and get it to, get it fixed, make it work the right way. And the new trailer is going to be out next week, but apparently it's not good so far. But
that's a shame because there's so much story in the original Beast Wars that they didn't have to go far.
Please.
And it's the same. There's so much good stuff in the comics too. Like, there's so much material, good stories with good dialogue, and then they bring in the shit show to just make pretty explosions with no story. And then they wonder why it goes wrong every goddamn time. I mean, they make a ton of money. So is it going wrong? We'll see.
Yeah, that's why. It's because it makes money. They figured that formula is correct.
Will I be eating my words in 20 years and be like, when I was in my 30s and 40s, I thought Michael Bay was the biggest idiot I had ever experienced in all of my film watching years. But now that I have grandchildren, I see that. Sorry, that's a reference to.
See what?
I'm just hoping that I'm horribly wrong about his ineptitude in storytelling. Like, I'm just hoping that I'm wrong, and this all comes together somehow into some beautiful web of cinema. But it's not. It's not what it is.
Okay, so Michael Bay is a great storyteller. Whoever wrote the fucking shit movies, they're at fault. So he can only do so much. He can offer to change things as a director. He's like, well, maybe we should do this instead. We'll put flames on the truck. This is kind of cool, right? But overall, the story is written by somebody else most of the time. I mean, like, let's say like a James Cameron who writes and directs and does everything, fucking himself. But, Bay has always been a great director. From when I saw his shit way back when, from like Armageddon all the way up to some of the latest shit, like fucking, what was that, fucking Ambulance, I think it was. That's what I think he did that one. It's all really good. He's a really good director. He knows how to put shit together and make people entertained. But the people who are writing those fucking stories, like you said, there is so much rich, stories out there that you could take from. But people don't want to do that. They want to write something themselves. They want to put their name on the map somehow. But so they take a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, try to mish it all, mash, and it just comes out like pure dog shit, because you're either entertaining the people who want to see big explosions and no fucking story whatsoever, or you're fucking entertaining the people that want to see a good story, but then you don't have all those explosions and shit, so you're not making enough money. Hence Bumblebee, So you have to find someone who's going to write a good story, be interesting, have all the fucking clicks and blips and paces that will entertain the popcorn, movie watchers, and then put it all together. But that's really hard to do and actually write. So, I mean, I used to think about the X-Men movies way back when they came out. I'm like, why are they writing these dog shit fucking storylines when they have all of Chris Claremont's fucking stories from fucking the 70s and 80s that they could just pull from? And I saw what they do with it. They take the fucking Dark Phoenix fucking story and they fucking rape it, and they have some bastard fucking child version of it, and it's not anything at all like, the way it should be. And that's exactly what they did with Transformers. And that's what they're going to keep doing.
Well, that's because they keep trying to give us the little Easter eggs and nuggets all throughout the movie and be like, oh, remember this thing that happened? Remember this thing that happened? But also, I'm telling my own story. Pick one. Show me the thing that happened, only make it better, or give me a new story and make it your own story and make it cohesive and maybe 2 hours.
And then I remember that this is a toy line, and the fucking main interest of the people who own this toy line is to fucking sell more toys. So it's just going to be a fucking big toy commercial. That's all it really is for. It's for the kids to fucking go, bam, 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 fucking go, Mom, I want that. Give me that toy so I can fucking, fight, so-and-so, blam, blam, blam. And it's just a big fucking commercial. It's not The Godfather. It's not a fucking Quentin Tarantino fucking film. It's a fucking hour and a half long commercial to sell fucking shit.
Which was the movie when was it the third one where they started doing the extreme parts forming, where they were just like flitting along as like microchips and nanobots? With Galvatron. Was that third or fourth?
Oh man, I can't.
Anyway,
4 probably, when they had the Transformium.
Yeah, so all of the bad guys in that, like the Decepticon fodder, like you couldn't. How are you selling a toy there? Like, I don't care about any of these things. Like, you need kids to be. Do. No, but the kids did they? Did they go? I want that random ass dump truck that I think was a dump truck, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
I mean,
do you know how much love there is for Barricade? Oh my god.
Well, Barricade was a cool ass character, but was he?
He wasn't fodder. He was actually like,
What was his character?
Movie Barricade was cool.
You're right. He was just threatening. There was
what character was he? He was just he had a couple lines and that was it.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is more than what those fucking Transformium dudes had. So that already graduates in like levels above those dudes.
True. Let me rephrase. He was a distinct design. You could tell he turned into a police car.
A Mustang police car.
Yeah.
Same as Squeaks.
Same as Squeaks. Mm-hmm.
What's Squeaks?
That little blue fucking thing with the big eyes. That was in the Last Night.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, with that, he palled around with that 14-year-old girl that they tried to sexualize all to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God, that was like, what are you doing? Jesus, this is a 14-year-old girl, and she's like running around with like almost no clothes on.
With Marky Mark.
Yeah.
But you have to remember there's always going to be like the 3-year turnaround.
Right.
That's always been the plan for most of these toy companies. Get the 3-year turnaround, make your profit, reboot, start over. 3-year turnaround, hit the 6-7-year-olds. They get to 10. Now they're playing video games. Okay, reboot. Start over. That's all it is. rinse, wash, or wash, rinse, repeat.
Do we know what the market have they done a market study to determine how much kids are buying versus we're buying? Because I really think that we're the market. I think that it's so rare. It's so rare that I see a mom and a kid in the toy aisle going, "Oh, what do you want?" If I see anyone in the toy aisle, it is a dude in his 30s to 50s, and there are no kids in sight. So start making toys for us if we're the ones buying them. You know.
So,
and
I don't see that.
You know what? Moms are going online and they're buying them online. So yeah, that's how the kids are getting them at home. I think they don't have time.
When I would go out to like, you know, Walmart and do my perusing and stuff like that, I never really saw like any other adult like collector or anything like that ransacking. But remember, I live in Bumblefuck too, so you know they didn't really have that. I've seen people at a GameStop do that, but never like, you know, for like Legends or something. But I've never seen them. They always leave the Walmarts alone, which is weird. So I always used to see families and kids and, you know, always yelling, clamoring, "Hey, get me this, get me that. Oh, why can't I have that? You know, let's get the, you know, Hot Wheels is cheaper. No, I want fucking Bumblebee. I want fucking, you know, Optimus Prime." So I did see that.
I don't see a lot of kids in the action figure aisle, but I still see them in the Lego aisle.
Well, the kids were always fucking, the aisles that they were always empty. You know, they would get shit in and it would go. So I don't know if it was scalpers or the employees were buying it, but it was like a lot of times the fucking shit wasn't there. And if it was there, it was gone in the week. But yeah, my kids, like, you know, they're all into Legos now, but they're older. But 3-4 years ago, they were into Transformers. Actually, my son's he's actually doing like videos of Transformer fights and stuff still. But he's mixing and matching. He's doing like Optimus Prime and Soundwave versus the fucking Hot Wheels and the Zoids and all that shit. So he's doing like, he's doing crossovers right now.
When you say he's doing videos, is he doing stop motion?
No, he just takes his tablet and he props it up, and then he has them, you know, he takes his hands, he smashes them together. He's like, "Oh, and there's Optimus Prime," and he's shooting, he's like, "Pew, pew, pew." He's like, "Oh no, here comes fucking," I'm like, "Rah, rah, rah," and he like smashes them together, rah, 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 you know.
Nice.
Not stop motion. I wouldn't let him do that. It would drive him insane.
Fair.
He had like this whole structure. He's like, I got 20 episodes of the first season done, and I'm like, oh wow. And it's just all the same thing, just, you know, them fighting each other. Right. One episode somebody wins, and the other episode somebody else wins, and then suddenly, you know, the next episode, oh no, new challenger. You know,
it's like wrestling dynamic. So I just posted in the chitty chat. Have you guys ever seen this Beasts of the Mesozoic at a convention?
A convention, but I've heard of them.
No, I have not.
These toys are friggin' awesome. So they're done by this guy David Silva. He sculpts them all, and he lives not too far from here. And I bring him up and his project up because the last time, I was in Target like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "David," and he came back around the corner like, "Oh, hey Nate," and like, you know, it was just one of those moments where it took a while to be like, I'm not used to seeing you out of context. Are you who I think you are? But yeah, it was like I see people like that in the toy aisle now. You know,
I don't go places anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, I go once every 2 weeks when we need some toiletries. You know. Yeah. Well,
I gotta go out. I gotta buy some clothes and get my wife's rings fucking inspected, and probably at the next podcast, you know, when we're over at Mike's. That's a limit of my excursions out into the wild. I'd rather just sit here and be happy. I literally put my goggles on the other night, and I was on Google Earth, and I was fucking flying around like Superman, just looking at fucking places around here. I'm like, where's that road go? And I'm like, I'm like, holy shit, that's a big fucking mine. I'm like, I didn't know that was there. Flying around the Appalachian Trail. It was fun. Fuck that going outside, man.
How long can you do that before you get your head starts to split?
Oh man, I could hours. I was actually lost in there for about 2 hours before I realized what time it was the other night. There was an update, and I wanted to check out to see what the update was because they included Street View into it. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I was like, oh, and I got real curious about things, and I just got lost, going all over the place, which is really funny because I looked at Palmer in my hometown and stuff, and then where I live, and where I could have went to like the fucking Rock of Gibraltar or fucking Grand Canyon or some shit like that. I wound up fucking just looking at fucking little shit towns around here. But they have this cool thing. The way to do the Street View is that your hand is holding like a globe. And when you want to look at the Street View, you just put the fucking globe on your head. You're suddenly on the Street View, and then you can take it off and you're back flying around in the sky. But yeah, I can do VR for hours before I start to and it's not so much I get a headache. It's more like my eyes get tired, I get from fucking doing that type of focusing and, because I
guess this is a good time to bring up that that one trailer that you shared.
Well, not really a trailer, is it?
It's like gameplay. It's a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, gameplay trailer.
Of
what's it called, buddy? Unseen? Is that what it is?
Unrecord.
Unrecord. That's it.
Or unrecord. I don't know.
Yeah. So there are definitely elements of that are photorealistic. But then there are other elements where you're like these, I use the example of there were some like gas tanks, but like lots of them, and they all looked exactly the same. Like there wasn't a different sheen on any of them. They were too carbon copy to be real. So I think elements like that in a violent video game help, but this thing looked pretty close to photoreal. How'd you guys feel about it?
I thought it looked absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's go ahead, Levy.
I was gonna say the camera work I think is really good too, because it does a real good job of making it seem natural. But it's and like at first I thought it was like a VR game, but it's not VR. It plays like a standard first person shooter, but the camera work and the animation of the hands and the reloading and everything like that, and the way he pulls the slide back and everything looks like super super realistic. So
hyper real.
Yeah. And I mean, like there were things that stood out to me that let me know that this was not just to do with a GoPro, now that you mentioned the barrels all looking identical and stuff like that, I didn't pick up on that at first, but now that you mention it, that is something that I guess I subconsciously noticed. But like the animation of the guy falling at the end when he shoots him or whatever, or where that explosion or whatever, and he falls. I mean, that was definitely like a video game animation. But right. I mean, all in all, I mean, it looks stunningly realistic. Like this game, I'm pretty sure this is like completely path traced, with like the highest resolution textures and whatnot. So I'm curious as to what kind of GPU is going to be able to run it at this quality.
I've seen Unreal Engine demos that look like this. Yeah. And it's Unreal Engine 5 came out, everything changed. Yeah. The way they've done what's that called? I forget there's a term for it. So like it's like distance rendering, like things very far away. You don't have to be rendered versus things that are real close in detail. Spend more time, with that.
Level of detail, LOD.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. Unreal 5 basically destroyed that and made it so that everything is beautiful at the same time without having to worry about your, caching or computing power, anything like that at all.
Yeah, with like no loss of performance.
Right, exactly. And it's infinite. You can just have, detail after detail and billions of fucking polygons or whatever, and it doesn't slow anything down. So that's one of the reasons. But the thing I think there's three things that stood out to me that made it look realistic was one, it was the animation of, like you said, Levy, the hand animation, and the way he was running and the way the other people were running and stuff like that. That animation was done really well, very hyper realistic, because it wasn't the same motion over and over again. And the way when you, if you notice when he shot the gun, it wasn't just a straight bang, 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 bang. He was like all over the fucking place when like a normal person would be shooting a gun. He's like, oh, it's up to the left and the right. And it was very, they must have some type of algorithm in there to keep things random so that it like kind of goes off on different angles and stuff to make it look, you know, always unique. Same thing with the reloading and stuff. The second thing that made it like more of like a fucking masterclass in photorealism for fucking CGI stuff is like the camera movement and the way that it was positioned and how it interpolated with the way the character was moving. And that's what I thought, Nate, you would have like a good opinion on, like with the camera movement, because they made it as like body cam and it's a fisheye lens, and it like opens itself up to BVR, but you know, it's not, but you're eliminating your point of view being too wide. So you're able to focus in on this, like, you know, a fisheye, which I think is like 200 degrees or something like that. And it constrains you to be able to focus on that straight ahead path. So the animation really, you know, takes precedent, and you're not distracted by a lot of things on the side. And the third thing that was smart, if they do it and they keep it this way, is that everyone's faces were pixelated out, like it was like some found footage type of thing, and like the identities have to be hidden. They don't have to worry about any type of uncanny valley with like human features and facial type of movements and stuff. And that right there, that, you know, keeps it even more real, because it, you know, there's nothing that you have to like really perfect when it comes to human emotion and expression. Just body language at this point.
And again, that makes it more palatable as a, you know, if you're suddenly, especially if they make this VR, you're suddenly can't separate what is real from this video game, and it looks like you're actually shooting real people. Like, that's just, I mean, I guess that's how some people get their kicks. But
are you? I'm gonna phrase this question very, very. I'm gonna phrase it I'm gonna phrase it very simply. Are you in that group of people that believe that video games cause violent intentions in people who play violent video games?
No. In fact, I think that people who have violent tendencies may find a fine outlet in that world, you know, and then not take it out on a living creature. But no, I think that bad, you know, there are a lot of things that contribute to gun violence in America that I will not pontificate on this evening. But I don't think video games are the sole cause or a primary cause,
contributing factor,
or massive contributing factor. They may be a 1 percentile contributing factor for, you know, 0.1% of our population.
Well, there's a big thing now that, because it's become so realistic, that people are now second guessing, you know, if video games are taking it too far or some sort. And we were laughing about this before, like, Levy, if you're like, if there was only some way that you could rate the video games on their you know, violence, and that the parents could just follow some type of symbol,
almost like an electronic safety ratings board.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
if only. Well, okay, I'll put it this way. So when I went to a bachelor party in Vegas and we went to go shoot guns, and we called ahead and asked, when I say we, I did not do this, but it was made known to me that we had called ahead and asked if we could bring photos of this guy's ex-girlfriends for him to shoot at. And they emphatically said, no, you cannot bring depictions of real people to shoot at a gun range. Can you think of the liability if something were to happen to that same person and we knew you had practiced shooting guns at their faces? And I think a similar, like, go ahead and have a violent video game, but make it werewolves, like have at it against all the vampires in the world.
Nazis.
But or Nazis.
Robots.
Fuck it.
Yeah, any type of supernatural thing that you can get away with killing. Yeah, then that's not a realistic,
So this pixelated thing is great, but like, think about how great. I mean, The Last of Us is a fantastic game, but like, you're killing some real people in that game. And if it looked even more real, like, I don't know. And I guess this is me getting old, because I would eat it up at 20, I would love it. But
I don't know. Are you correlating like the amount of pixel resolution to like us person empathy?
Yes. So like, okay. I mean, if I'm playing an 8-bit video game, I don't give a shit about those people, right? They're not people, they're pixels. But if I can't tell, if I'm looking through it and the resolution is so good that I can't, like, or worse yet, like, I feel like this is more real because it's even clearer than I can see in real life, then it starts to get pretty weird and dark.
Yeah, I'll
for me, but
on that one.
I'm intoxicated a lot, and I take life too seriously. So,
because it doesn't matter how real it looks, you're playing a game.
Jed, that my theory of life is that you are currently in a simulation, but have no idea. It's just So we're not that far off here.
But with this game that you're saying in the simulation, you only get one life, as far as you know, anyway. And you don't get 3, or you don't get to respawn. So it's technically not really a game of life, unless some people play it that way. But at least I know when I pop in a disc on a PlayStation, or I'm going to download something on my PC and play it, I know that it's a game that I'm playing, that I can turn it off, and it's just I'm separated from reality at that point. And
but your character doesn't know that. Your character doesn't know that. Your character thinks they're real, and my character
doesn't think.
No, but he does in the new world when you start introducing AI.
Yeah, not yet though. Not yet. Then we'll have all those conversations about equal rights for sentient programs, and how abusive we've been to our Roombas and everything else and stuff like that, and all that jazz. That'll happen probably in 10, 20 years maybe or so. But
Jed, it's already happened.
Video resolution of quality of photorealistic stuff isn't gonna change people's, like, if anything, it'll correct it even more, because there might be someone like, yeah, man, let's go play some of that game, and I would just want to pop some, man, let's just, and they'd be like, I don't really want to kill these people. That's really gross and realistic and disgusting, and not like, oh yeah, rah, let's do it. So I think it's the opposite effect. And they've had all these studies over the years, and I remember what the hell was that guy's name? Jack Thompson. He was a big freaking activist for, saying that video games make fucking kids violent, and rap music makes kids violent, and Tom and Jerry makes fucking kids violent, and everything else fucking makes kids violent. It's not true. It's just one of those things. It's just not true.
Kids are violent, and there are television shows.
Yeah, it's there's more realistic actors shooting people and killing people on TV every night. Any type of cop show that's gonna affect a kid, if it does affect a kid, more so than a video game where you're in control of doing that.
Yeah, but they're not like they don't show the entrance and exit wound in slow motion when it happens with awesome blood splatter. Like when we're watching it in television, typically you see the guy's eyeballs pop open wide while it's an extreme close up on his face, and he got shot in the stomach. I don't know, man.
You throw on some Walking Dead, you're gonna see a lot of guts coming out. Even though they're zombies, they're still people, or they were people at one point in time. Tons of military movies where they're fucking trying to, stop the blood, and there's a lot more graphic shit on TV than there were when I was growing up. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they still censor all the sex scenes and stuff like that. That's very important versus fucking getting somebody's head blown off or whatever.
Well, it was a switcheroo, right? Like Clash of the Titans opens up with some titties on the beach, and you don't do that anymore. But you can have all the violence and meth you want,
which is wrong.
Yeah, bring back Silver the beach.
Knight Rider, right?
I don't know. I don't know what is the good story of today's modern era, because it's not those, and it's not what we're doing now, other than Mandalorian.
I'll give you a good example. As a parent, Nate, right? And you're going to be. I'm sure you've encountered this already. Like if you're swearing in front of your kids or whatever, right?
Oh, which I do all the time. Yeah, right? You keep going.
It's like something little, like you say shit, right? Instead of poop or crap, you say shit. And then the wife or the grandparent or whoever goes, "Oh, you shouldn't say that in front of the kids. That's right. Oh, they're gonna swear, or they're grow up fucking having the mouth of a sailor or some shit." But it's all on TV. They can say shit as much as they want now, right? So keep watching fucking some TV, and no, Daddy said a bad word. So the way we've done it in my house is that we're like, we curse all the fucking time. I don't go off as much as I usually do when the kids are around, but I still curse. And I'll say that, listen, I said, those are grown-up words. I said, when you're a grown-up, you can use those words too. I said, you're going to hear, they're going to fucking, you hear that, some of that shit they say on the bus? Holy Christ, my kids are 10. God. Yeah. Fuck. Oh my God. And they're playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. And they're listening to fucking everybody else on the fucking headsets and shit. Oh man. So they bring that shit to school. They're going to hear it. They're going to hear that shit regardless if you fucking tell them not to say it or not. So, he's like, hey, this is a grown up word. When you get older, you can curse too, and that's it. And mom and dad will fucking use grown up words. And when you get older, you can fucking swear as much as you want. Just like mom.
I wonder if the show would be half as long if we cut out every swear that we used, because I swear frequently as well. And that was about 13 fucks and 12 shits for every other 10 real words.
Well, it's like Smurf. You can use it in any context whatsoever.
It's true. So I do a lot of depositions. No, never mind. I'm not going to tell that story.
I think that this is just going to give fucking politicians another reason not to change any type of gun laws, and they're going to just try to make another fucking excuse. So I celebrate and applaud the developers and the artists that made this game. It's literally a fucking masterclass on how to fucking do CGI, like hyper photo real, so it's like believable. Like I thought 20 years ago when Final Fantasy movie came out, I'm like, wow, look how realistic that looks. Nah, this is really like realistic. And then 10 years from now it'll be even more realistic, especially when we get into like the whole VR thing. So it's just gonna get better. I can't wait because it's gonna be fun. But like Levy said, you're probably gonna need like 2 fucking TI cards just to fucking run it, probably. Which, by the way, I heard that the new NVIDIA fucking release is kind of not going too good.
The 4070? Yeah, no, it's
not selling a lot.
Yeah. Well, the 4000 series, it's underperforming in general.
Yeah.
So
people are like, why should I upgrade when I have a 3080 or something better,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of different things. I mean, the prices are just ridiculous. You're not getting real value from these cards. Because you are getting performance uplift, sure, but you're still paying 1-for-1 for that uplift. You're getting, so like say you're getting 20% more performance from a car from like say you got a 3080 and you're getting 50% more performance. I don't know exactly what the real numbers are, but like say you're getting 50% more performance, but you're paying 50% more for it than the 3080. So you're not really getting any value in price, your performance per dollar.
Yeah.
So there's no real value in it.
Mm-hmm.
And plus they're power hogs. I mean the power draw on these things is just astounding. Plus they're huge. Like your 4080, your 4090. They're huge cards. They're big. They're heavy. They won't, like, some of them won't fit in like even mid ATX cases. And like I can't fit a 4080 in the case that I have in my Height Y60 because it's a vertical mount GPU, and I have a 3-slot card in there, and it's almost up against the glass. And like the 4080 is a 3.5-slot card, so that's like going to be like either physically touching the glass or even coming out beyond it.
Yeah, when I upgraded my stuff, I made sure I got a full tower just to make sure I didn't run out of room like it did the last time. So it's nice and comfy in there. And I have 2 cards, but the one's an older card's a 1080 Ti, but still it's they're both, the other one's fucking huge, the 3080.
Yeah.
I can only imagine trying to stick another one in there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're huge. But I think the biggest thing going against them is the prices that the MSRP that they're asking for these things.
600.
Not necessarily for the 4070, but I mean the 4070, you're just not getting the you're not getting any value for the performance uplift on that one, because it's like $100 more than the 3070.
Well,
actually, I think you are getting some. I don't know. I don't remember, but
was it like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago? A 3080 was going for like what, $1,400 or something back in.
Oh yeah.
The highest prices and demand of everything back in the day when COVID was still a thing.
Yeah, because they launched in October 2020, and those prices shot through the roof immediately. And they didn't come back down to reasonable levels until beginning of last year.
Yep. Well, it's because NVIDIA stock fucking tanked because nobody was buying shit anymore. Yeah. And then they fucking blocked them from selling their shit in China because they didn't want China to fucking use it for AI development or any type of fucking
the crypto mining.
Computing processing. So they had to pivot.
Yeah.
That sucked. Nate, what does an Apple user do when you want to get a nice graphics card? Do you just not do anything, or
you do zero?
Do they make special towers for modding?
Well, I haven't gotten an actual tower in ages. Wow, I can't remember the last time I bought a full unit. It's all been iMacs and MacBook Pros, and I've never cared about gaming enough but I do look for a good graphics card for my editing.
Right.
So they just kind of come with a good graphics card.
Do they come with NVIDIA's?
I don't know. I don't know how to computer. I know how to edit.
Sorry.
No, it sucks. I really do wish I knew more about how they work.
Let's talk about something that you want to talk about. I keep throwing things at you, and you keep.
Well, yeah, no, it's. I'm like, man, am I not doing life right? Because I don't know how to talk about Star Trek, and I don't know.
We're just bringing up things that you're just like, you're not into and with it all the time. Like, let's talk about customizing. Are you still working on shit, or are you like, did you get an artist block at all?
No, actually, I've I just got a bunch of parts in, so I'm on a huge creative wave.
Cool.
So this fine person asked me if I would do all of the. You know what? I haven't revealed it yet. Anyway, it's a beloved Disney cartoon movie from our childhood.
Song of the South.
And it's not.
No,
it is not Song of the South. As Mythic Legion's characters, and this would be coming off of. I did a bunch of what if Winnie the Pooh were thrown into the Mythic Legion's world, which is filled with goblins and knights and elves and dwarves and that kind of thing. And so we decided that was fun. Let's do another one of those odd mashups. So you have very cartoony characters becoming horrible looking and frightening, hopefully.
Right.
So anyway, I did a huge elephant character, which I hope to reveal soon. That's just and I did a lion character today, and he is coming along very nicely. And so I get all these parts from primarily, so a big shout out to Wolf King Customs. If you are into customizing like 6-inch figures, Wolf King Customs does fantabulous heads. And I got a bunch of parts in from them, and then Planetary Dog Toys, and they're out of Spain. Fancy. So it takes forever to get your parts. But
it reminds me, I gotta keep working on that rip head for you.
Yeah.
I've had such a creative block. Like, I've been doing nothing creatively at all.
How much do the listeners know about our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns?
Levy and I have talked about it from time to time.
So this is going back to our first campaign. Jed, I tried to make a head for his character out of this stuff called green stuff. And it's this really, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that are good with working with it, and I am just not one of them. It's a learning curve. So as soon as you meld the two clays together, it starts to harden, and you've got about 2 hours to work with it before it becomes like totally cured.
Like Bondo.
Yeah, and it's really sticky to begin with, so you can't do your whole shape. So it's a timing issue. You can't do your full shape until it's like partially cured, and then you're on a time limit with how long you can work with it. So I did this head, and then I showed it at a show, and everybody's like, "I love your Puss in Boots." I was like, "No, this is my buddy's D&D character." So yeah, Jed, you promised me that you were gonna 3D sculpt a head, and I trust you, and I know you're working on it, and I know it's gonna be beautiful.
Fear me if you dare.
Pray for mercy from.
Pray for mercy from Puss in Boots.
So I still have to watch that movie.
Oh, you should watch that movie with your kids. It's a great movie.
I know. So you and friends of the Blackout and Shout show know that my cat passed away a couple weeks ago, and I have not been able to watch Puss in Boots because it's about him only being on his last life. Like, how am I not supposed to get all teared up watching that now? So I'm giving it another day or two. I know
it's a funny thing, especially when they go through all first 8 of his lives, and they show all the ways that he died, and they're hilarious, So it's a kid's
I got up
thing.
to when the wolf assassin shows up, and then my kid got scared. So
it's scary. Yeah, it's a wolf. It's fucking supposed to be scary, big bad wolf type of thing. Yeah. And but it's good though. It's a really good story, and man, the animation is magnifique. Mwah. Good stuff.
No, it was beautiful. I need to kick it up again. But so I guess that's when it was tough, when you were like, "What have you been up to?" And I'm like, "I just came out of the bottle from being sad about my cat." So yeah, we'll see.
Oh, I was going to ask you, because you didn't. What did you think of the picture I sent you of the black and white version of your two daughters? Did you like that?
Oh, I loved it. Okay. I showed it to my wife got like all teary at all of the other prints. And then I showed her that one, and she was like, "Cool." And I was like,
she hated it. I knew it.
I'm like, yeah, it is cool, but it's all right. It's fine.
I liked it. I thought it came out really neat. Like, had a weird like grayscale to it, and I was like, "Wow, this is kind of pops, but has that stereographic type of look to it." And I'm like, "This is cool. I'm gonna have to send it to you."
Yeah, glad you did. I like it. And then I still have to get a frame that I can put the 4 cat pictures in that makes sense. But I got a frame for the 2 girls together. Thank you. Cool. Jed does beautiful print work. HiddenToys.com.
Bing, bing, bing. Oh yeah, I haven't plugged my site in a long time. It is hiddentoys.com now since I got that domain. So, and
Nice.
.net, .com, .net.
.org.
Not really, no, not really nonprofit.
.gov.
Yeah, no. That'll go against the whole profit for thing.
Right. Yeah. No, but seriously, I've got some of your Transformers prints, and I've got the prints that you've done for me personally, and my wife said it best when she said nobody does work like this.
Yeah, because it's dog shit. That looks really nice. Oh man, I've been trying so hard to keep the site updated and stuff. It's a fucking project. And I haven't had time. I've been so busy with work with fucking federal stuff and taxes. You guys do your taxes? They were due a couple days ago.
But I got my refund all back already.
Cool. Good.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah,
I had to wait for my financial crap to get in before I could fucking file. It was like last minute.
Was that messy this year with everything with your parents and all?
The only thing that was kind of messy about it was because I already filed like the inheritance tax stuff. Like you kind of do an estimate of value and then you pay the tax ahead of time. And if you do that, then you get a rebate on it. You get like 10% of it back. If you do that, like it's weird. Okay. So I did that, but back when that was done like a year ago, the value of the house was a lot less than what it was selling for. So I had to send in a supplemental to pay taxes on the difference of it. So, which was significant because of that. Just that 1 year, the housing market went crazy. Everybody was looking for anything and everything. So like a $80,000 home was going for like $125,000. And that's, and because inheritance tax for me is because I'm related and not a sibling or whatever, it's 4.5%, where I think the worst is 14 or something like that. Still better than getting taxed capital gains, which is, I think, is 20. So yeah, I just had, that was the only income tax thing I had to do for that. But my thing that was messy was all my investments and everything that I did, because I started up my trading again, and all last year I was just buying and selling, buying, selling. I had all these dividends and qualified, non-qualified, short-term stuff, and so all that stuff had to get taxed. And I was doing it outside of my IRA, outside of my Roth IRA. So all that was basically just income that had to be taxed. And you have to file it a specific way with a specific form and all this other bullshit. So they're not Johnny on the spot when it comes to getting you that information, and it's usually not until like April they get it to you. If Jesus, maybe yeah, sometimes you have to file extensions if you don't even get it. But at least
isn't that illegal? You're supposed to send the paperwork on February.
No, not at all. I still didn't get my what's it called? Not deductions. My I forgot what it's called.
1099s, W-2s.
No, it's like when you put money into an IRA, it's your
dividends.
No, dividends is your reoccurring thing. It's with a Roth IRA, you can only put in $6,000 or $6,500 a year for one person, unless you're over like a certain age, and you put like $7,000 in. So you put that money in, and then you get a form that says you put that money into an IRA because it's after tax cash, and you can claim that on your taxes. Yeah. So there's oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting what that word is. Anyway,
disclosure.
Nah, it's like when you not. I'm just keep getting stuck on donate. It's not donate. It's like your.
I clearly don't do this, so
you should. You really.
I
should.
know I should. I know you've been telling. As long as we've known each other, you've been telling me this, and I'm going to look back and be like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, free money. You got to put it in there. You can't take it out. That's the problem. Right. So as long as you have free money and you want to, invest or just trade or anything, it's all whatever you make on that stuff. It's all non-taxable and it's all free. And as long as you take it out, like later on, You can borrow against it. Yeah, it's just silly not to. I wish I would have done it years and years and years and years ago, but I never did. Because I always thought to myself, what if I need that money? How am I going to get it? But the cool thing about Roth IRAs is that the money you put in, you can take out.
But then it's taxed.
Nope, without any penalty.
Oh. Huh.
The money that you make in it while it's in there, if you want to take that money out, that's taxed.
Copy.
So you put $6,000 in and you're like, fuck, I need that. My car got in a fucking accident. I hit a fucking, buffalo. Right. Like shit, I need that money. You take it back out. No penalty. But if let's say you put $6,000 in and you invest in AMC and it suddenly shot up and now you just made $28,000, you can't take that out and that'll get taxed fucking penalty wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's, and I just did the Blackout shout fucking financial hour.
Got it in.
Moral of the story is that you should invest in Roth IRAs, and if you're not, you should start. And when you do, you will not get your forms until after you're done with tax season. Like I said, I still haven't gotten my Roth IRA that form that says, oh yeah, I put $6,000 in. I just fill it out on my taxes anyway. I didn't include the form.
You just have to have QuickBooks and pay attention to your shit.
Yeah, I use Tax Act. I don't know if you guys ever use that website. Pretty good. It's about $120 to file federal, state, and then they have if you get audited, there's like an audit protection stuff with it, and all that jazz. Pay online, sign online. Huh. No muss, no fuss type of thing.
I pay somebody $525 a year.
That.
And I spend.
I've been doing my own taxes since I was 18.
2 full days organizing my shit.
Fuck that.
And yeah, so I think I might be done doing that, but I don't know.
It's cool. Like you can file all your shit, and you don't have to pay until you go to actually submit the file. So you could do it yourself and see how long it takes. It takes me a couple hours, but that's just because I have to enter shit like manually a lot of times with the wife's fucking WTs. So,
well, if I were better about it throughout the year and every day that I came home from Target and I bought a few batteries for my video shoots and I also bought some shorts, like if I wrote down immediately instead of having to go back through all of my stuff at the end of the year like an idiot, I should just do it every day. Take 5 minutes every day. Make sure I sent some money to my IRA. But I don't do all the smart things.
But you don't ever get over that number, right? It's fucking huge now. It's like $28,000 or something like that for your deductions.
Oh, yeah, I think I do.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. No, between hiring employees, or not employees, independent contractors, cameras. Usually I put at least 15 into new gear a year. And then there's
finally remembered that word I was trying to think of. Contributions, not fucking donations. It's a contribution into your IRA. So you can contribute fucking $6,000 or whatever, 6.5. Sorry, Nate, go ahead. Yeah, you hire employees and buy equipment. Yeah, that shit's expensive.
And then there's there's really silly loopholes in the law. Like, my Netflix subscription is research because I'm in entertainment. So that it's not like it's fully paid for, but it's but it is a research deduction. Nice. And all of them. And then I have the home office, so a portion of my mortgage is a deduction. So
nice.
It gets well over the 28.
Cool. You got a bunch of weddings lined up at all?
I only do a few of those a year now. So no, not a ton. Only a few. So if you want
starting, right?
If you want to overpay, because I am extremely expensive, then I would be happy to do your wedding. You can contact Reaching Roots. I no longer have a website either, which makes me seem super shady. But I am actually quite good. Nobody cares about sound like I do, and
listen, you want to talk to Reaching Roots, you gotta go talk to Tony, all right, over on 3rd and Delaware, and then you say, hey, here looking for Nate, and we'll send a message, and we'll get back to you in about a week.
I hear he's got wedding videos and liquid death. Yeah, so no, it's mostly word of mouth, and it'll be somebody who's like, hey, my cousin used you 5 years ago, are you still in business? I'm like, yep, I'm expensive. And they're like, sounds good. Or they're like, go to hell. So if I go out, it's fun, because usually I get to see people who loved my work and enough to refer me, and they're at the wedding and we high five and stuff, and it's good times. But no, I do a lot more corporate stuff or the depositions.
Right.
So like I got to go to Boston last week. That was fun.
Cool. I love Boston.
I wish I could remember the guy that I'm just you know me, I'm terrible with names, and we interviewed this super interesting gentleman, professor at Yale, and Yale, and Harvard, sorry. Harvard.
Luckily, none of those people will be listening to this show.
Yeah.
What do you mean I listen to Blackout and Shout every 2 weeks? As he straightens his bow tie.
Yeah. And yeah, so that was great. And for that, I was just doing sound. All I had to do was set up a microphone and make sure it sounded sweet. And it did. This guy had a super resonant voice. It was beautiful. And I worked for about, 2.5 hours, 3 tops, made enough for the week. I come home,
Nice.
That's the life.
Yeah.
But that means I have to look for those jobs and find them, and that takes time.
Right. Cool. Levy, I was going to ask you, do you have any weird news for us at all?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
I didn't know if you
look this week. Yeah, no.
I did see that they were talking late about the UFO stuff at the Pentagon and shit again, and they were showing some video of actual footage from a drone cam of a floating sphere flying through an area. Yeah, it's pretty.
I saw an article headline where they were saying that CIA confirms UFO sightings over conflict areas for the first time or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that was part of it. Yep.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
There was one actual weird news story that I saw. Let's see if I can find it here.
They're basically they're not calling them
UFO. Because UFO just means it's an unidentified flying object. So
right.
I want to know: are there extraterrestrials piloting that thing? That's what I want to know. Is it that, or is it a cool Portuguese jet that we don't know about?
Well, I highly doubt it's Portuguese.
Just tossing that out there for.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think that they're at the forefront of cutting edge military technology.
That's what they want you to think.
They could be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They could be. But when I think of leaders in military technology, Portugal is not one of the ones at the top of my list. Just saying. No offense to Portugal or any of our Portuguese listeners out there, especially those that might be in the Portuguese government.
I just gave you a softball to win over some Portuguese.
I'm just saying. This is kind of. I think this is kind of the general perception. Yeah. Portugal's not really a military power.
Yeah, I'd say it would be Yemen be in the forefront of that.
I'm going to Yemen.
They're like,
if you are friends,
you like Wakanda, you don't know about it.
Yeah.
I saw also that like some military leaders or somebody in the CIA is saying that there's an alien mothership out there, and they're hiding out in the solar system somewhere, and they're the ones responsible for all these this increase in UFO sightings.
Did you guys see about the spiral in the Alaskan sky?
I saw something about that.
That's actually a photo that someone took during the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
So it looks like a fucking time warp tunnel and shit, or a wormhole or whatever. But it's actually exhaust that was left over from one of the SpaceX launches. Oh. And it created like the spiral in the sky. It was like, reflection bounced off and all that shit.
Is that the one that just exploded?
No, it was the previous boost before that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did it explode? I thought it.
The latest one, yeah, or a couple days ago.
The Starship,
or maybe it might have even been yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? SpaceX Starship. It was a rocket. They shot it up in the air and it exploded about 4 minutes after launch. They said
unmanned.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to.
Test.
It wasn't meant to succeed. So it was.
Oh, sure. That's what they say now after the thing explodes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That wasn't meant to succeed. I mean, hey, we didn't just spend billions of dollars to launch it up into space for it to just like do anything.
It wasn't meant for one of their like normal rockets where it like comes back down to Earth and lands perfectly on a launch pad to be reused. Once again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
clearly it exploded.
The main was it the main chamber didn't dislodge from the other section, or it did it too quickly or something like that, and it fucking exploded. But yeah, it was
like, look, guys, there's this photographer that really wants to get this shot. Says it's worth $1 billion. So let's just blow this rocket up. They say we have to do it right here, right now, and it'll make this spiral in Alaska. It'll be dope as shit.
They said it was a successful launch though, because they learned a lot. They got a lot of data from everything.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of after the fact of once they got everything, they were like, yeah, good. It fucking blew up. Who cares? But everybody's like, oh my God, it blew up. That means they're terrible. Let's drop the stock.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm here with my SpaceX fucking satellite, happy as shit. So, with my SpaceX fucking satellites up in the air, just giving me internet the way it should be. What else was going on?
Didn't comment on the other than the music, Levy, on the Fans Toys blaster.
Yeah, I got a blaster.
Well, yeah, I'm not getting the Fans Toys blaster. I have my whatever that
Nate,
was.
Nate, you have a blaster at home.
I do have a blaster at home.
We have a blaster at home, Nate.
Yeah, we do. But this did look nice, and it looks like a I hate calling them upgrades. I hate it. I don't know what else to call it though.
Think of it this way, right? Just like Levy said, when you buy a video card, the dollar per value it might be new, might be replacement, but are you really getting that value per the cost of what you're spending? You should really look at replacements or swapping things out the same way.
Well, I don't get the value out of Transformers that I used to, because I don't get to sit there and just stare at them all the time like I used to. So they just take up space and don't pay rent now. Not
to make you feel bad or anything like that, but since I've really had time to clean my room up and shit, like I've lost time staring at things, just spacing out.
Hey Jed, look in the chat.
That is the blaster at home.
Oh man. Ugh.
But no, I've been like, I don't even have things posed yet. I'm just looking at things like thinking like, this is how I will pose it. And like, looking, I'm like, this is what I'll do here. And this is where I'll put the lighting there. And, looking at the Hot Toys display, that's basically done except for the lights. And I'm like, okay. And I cleaned everything up and I'm like, it's like good. I'm like, I'm ready to move on to the next phase.
Yeah, that's where you should be. I don't know.
You know what? That's eye opening for me too, because I ran out of room. So, like the need to go look for more new stuff, and probably the overwhelming box opening that I've done. Like, it must have opened like 50 boxes that were never opened before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of saturated, and I'm not really interested in buying anything new at all. And unfortunately, I gotta sell those, like that Alien and Predator Mezco that I bought. I didn't even open it.
Yeah. Well,
so, but there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I just don't have the room.
I just need to sell some stuff. I think that's it. I think I'm sick of keeping things just in case. Because, like, I don't know. There was a time about 10 years ago when I would get on a video chat with some guys, and we'd be on all day shooting the shit about Transformers. And we'd be talking about the new ones, we'd be talking about the old ones, and anytime an old Transformer came up, I could go and grab it and be like, you mean this one? And then I would say, oh, and then you compare it with this one, and I would have, 3 different versions of Soundwave in my hands, and I'd be happier than a pig in shit. But that kind of interaction isn't happening anymore, and the rarity of a Transformers fan doesn't exist anymore, right? Like, we all found each other, yay. So like that thrill of like, hey, have you seen this thing? That's gone. We found our people and we're happy, but now we don't care about the same thing anymore. Like, we've all kind of left it in the past and moved on.
I've evolved,
and yeah, we have new interests. So anyway, I think
and I have transcended into the next plane of existence.
Oh man, who are you, Optimal Optimus?
I've gone from 6 inches to 12 inches.
And it is glorious.
You and your hot toys. So yeah, I think selling some stuff and opening up some space makes some sense. Contact me if you're looking for some Revenge of the Fallen Prime. What else have I got here?
This isn't Blackout and Shout QVC. And here we have this lovely Revenge of the Fallen Prime. Only transformed twice. Original box still intact. As it spins around. With a nice
Junkions.
Gloved hands out there with a shiny diamond on it. Call now. 25% off.
Oof.
Yeah, I haven't been like looking forward to getting anything at all because I'm just
what am I looking forward to?
Shit. You could open or sell or something.
I think the only thing that's on the horizon, like I canceled all the X-Transbots. I think we should talk about how long it's taken for X-Transbots to release any of those images that you told us. You warned us, Jed. You said
no one listens.
Pre-ordering.
No one listens.
You fucking told us, and not a single one of those awesome images that they released like 3 years ago has come out, and we've all just been sitting on these pre-orders. And I was like, "It's okay." So I started the show NFTs, saying,
that was it.
So canceled that shit, and because I'm over it. Like, I don't need my run amok and run about that bad anymore. I'm sorry, you fucking missed your opportunity. I was jazzed for it. I was excited, and you fucking blew it.
I'm over here like looking at Springer News, looking at all you guys fucking pre-order. I'm like, first time.
Yeah. So, but I am excited about the Fans Toys Gears. I think that'll be, you talk
What's
about
that?
your.
Which one's the Fan Toys? Was Gears?
It's Gears.
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay. The shitty character. I thought you meant. Okay, never mind. I thought it was a code word for another name.
No, I'm using the real name for the real character, who is just fine. He's just fine. He's not shitty. God,
I fucking hate Gears. Him and Huffer can be in a fucking spaceship somewhere just fucking burning alive. I would not give two shits.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
Oh my God, I hate those characters so bad.
You don't like grumpy people. That's fine.
Fuck. No. And you know what's really funny? I used to work with this guy. years ago, and he reminded me of Huffer. He sounded just like fucking Huffer. Or was it Gears? I can't remember. Who's the one that was more whinier? Was it Huffer?
Huffer was like, Prime. I don't know, man.
Oh, please stop! Don't do that. Give me fucking post-traumatic syndrome there for that shit. Oh my god, yeah. He used to sound and act just like that dude. Oh, fucking terrible. Anyway, I will be right back, but continue talking about the fucking shitty character.
It's just that. That's what I'm excited for. There's nothing else. I don't think there's anything else on the horizon.
Is that a sad state of affairs when the only thing you're excited for is Gears?
Yeah,
the Ultra Magnus they just showed, the fans toys and the Prime thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too, because that's like from the childhood. It should be armor. In his case, should have the white Prime, actually be a robot. So I'm excited, but I'm not. I guess I'm not excited about the price tag because of the same thing that you talked about at the beginning of the show when you said, you just got those 3 new $100 figures. It's like, I don't want to drop $300 on a toy anymore. It's not like I'd rather go get a new guitar or a couple of nights in a hotel somewhere, I never thought it would come to this, Levy, but I don't do it so I think Kincaid has the right move where he is capable of selling things and typically at the right time. It enables him to keep collecting and, to actually replace and get good dollar value for those replacements versus my version of replacement, which is just put one in a drawer somewhere and put one on the shelf.
Yeah.
So is there a figure that you're excited about? I want to end this on a high note.
That I'm excited for. Well, I mean, there's some Mafex figures that are due to come out soon. Storm.
Is there a single Transformer you are excited about?
Not really.
Does a non-transforming Transformer count?
Yeah, that Sideswipe looks sweet. How far out is that?
MDLX 3 zeros I'm very excited for. So we got Cliffjumper coming next, and then Megatron, and then a Rodimus Prime or Hot Rod. I'm not sure. I think it's Rodimus Prime. Then probably Sideswipe. So he's a little far out, but he was shown. But no, I'm excited for those guys. I said it before. I'll say it again. If I'll sell my MPs and get those dudes there, that's what I'll do. Because they're fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and if you're just gonna put them in a detolf and pose them up and then walk away, and that's all you need.
Super posable, which is really awesome and detailed and painted so well, and fucking they don't transform, but it looked like they could. They're just the right size too. They're 7-inch for a Prime, in my opinion.
Nice.
Anyway. What were you guys talking about? Hopefully not Huffer or Gears.
No, we moved on from Gears. Nobody was excited about Gears but me. But I mean,
so you are excited for the Ultra Magnus that fans toys are?
Yeah, I am. I guess I was just telling Levy that I've just come to the point where I don't want to be dropping $300 on a toy. I used to get like a little sick kick out of it, I can do this and I can still pay all my bills. Isn't that fucking great? It's like, well, now that's getting harder, and inflation's a bitch. And I also would like to have retirement other than selling this collection down the road somewhere, so, so that's that. And, but at the same time, I still I love this Ultra Magnus and I want to be excited about it, but I think I am going to buy that. I am going to buy that, but I have to be more selective about some of the other things that I let into my house.
Well, yeah. So you're not, wait, did X-Transbots showed one of those too, didn't they?
Yeah. X-Transbots has one out now, and they're going to do the regular show colors as well if they haven't already. But
that wasn't an armored take on and take off type of figure, right?
No, it was
Okay.
not. So this is the only one of its type.
Here's the new Fans Toys logo, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's actually why I want this, because it looks just, like the toy I always wanted when I played with the toy at somebody else's house, because I never owned one as a child. Single tier.
I don't know about you, Levy, since Nate's like one of the unusual ones that still loves Transformers and only Transformers, but I don't know about you, but I've corrected my wife a few times where she's like, oh, you're a Transformer? I'm like, no. I said, I collect nostalgia. I said, I collect things that harken me back to when I was a kid, and that doesn't have to be specifically Transformers. It's other things like Ninja Turtles and anime stuff and, Marvel characters. So I collect nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think about that? I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I really consider myself a Transformer collector anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In the same boat. I mean, I collect figures.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't, I'm not, I'm not really getting, I mean, certainly not getting exclusively Transformers. In fact, most of my stuff that I get isn't Transformers or transforming robots.
Yeah. Are you like you no longer have the I must have season 1, season 2 mission type of thing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I have, I think, all the representations for season 1. I just have to find my Autobots.
Still. They're probably like replacing the water heater and are like, oh, what's this box for? I don't know, let's get rid of it. All right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I've definitely moved on from that. So
Nate, it's time for you to move on. I think it's time for you.
Yeah. Well, I have, right? Like, that's the thing. I guess the last thing I got was that Headstrong to finish the Predacons.
Yep.
And I don't know what my next I don't even know what the next Transformer would be that I would have coming in. But it's just Mythic Legions, man. I've just got tons of Mythic Legions all over the place, and I am looking forward to Legions Con in November. And I know that there are a lot of crossover fans in Transformers. You probably have some that listen to this very show that will also be going to Legions Con. Because it's the same thing, right? Like they've moved on too. And it is cool.
Now you can you create your own imagination, and you have all the parts and just put them together and paint it and shit, and you're good to go.
Yeah. It's whatever you want to make. If you have patience, it's what Mike and I say about Transformers. Like, if you have the patience, it'll eventually come out. But with this, it's even faster. Like, it's hive mind, right? Like, if I start thinking about, I'd love to have a mutant that was like half ape, half giraffe, someone's going to make me a giraffe neck. Someone will be like, yeah, man, I see your vision. I will make that for you. I will do the 3D work, and I know a printer, and we'll get this done, man. You're going to have this ape giraffe. Let's make it so that he's on fire. I'm like, sounds great. Let's do it. And, it just, there is a Facebook page for the Mythic Legions fans, as there is for every other fandom, and it's just such an awesome fostering group where people are like, oh, that's what you want to do? Have you figured out how you're going to accomplish that? Here's a good resource. Go check this out. How can I help you? I have that part. Let me send it to you. How much do you want for that? Nothing. How about a high five? It's cool.
I just made me think of something. I'm in a Blender group in Discord. And one of the channels that they have in Blender, one of the channels they have in the server is mental help, which is kind of nice. So that somebody's having like problems, either with their life or their job or whatever, they post stuff in there, and everybody else kind of jumps in and gives them positive advice about stuff, and it helps a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's always nice to have something good like that with a community instead of fucking everybody usually at everyone else's throats are debating about how fucking stupid this is or how cool that is, type of thing.
The thing about Transformers fans is that we all think that we know something that another fan doesn't know. And it's so boring, you know? Like, we should... the amount of showboating of what knowledge we have in this community, I don't know. It was the biggest turnoff, I think.
Yeah.
That's it. I've been guilty of it. We all have. It's just, but I think that is, again, it comes from thinking you were the only person in the world, and then the internet opened it up, and you found out that there were other people who were still fans of this thing.
Right.
So when you were the only person in the world, you were the person with the most knowledge about Transformers in your little town in New Hampshire. But sorry, I use that because I partially grew up in New Hampshire. So, yeah, it's just, it's changed, and we didn't grow fast enough and go, oh, holy shit, maybe I should respect where you've come from and what else do you know that you can teach me, instead of, I'm a hot shit over here, pay attention to me.
Yeah, that's good advice. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to go over? Because, not to sound, callous or anything like that, but that fucking tooth work that I had done is fucking getting to me. And it's fucking throbbing my fucking mouth off, and it's fucking killing me. So I didn't know if you guys had anything else you want to talk about, because I could end the show real soon.
Yeah, let's end it right now, Jed. I just want to say I hope your mouth feels better.
Thanks, Nate. I hope your mouth feels better too. You have such a pretty mouth.
Squeal, piggy, squeal! Squeal! Wee! Wee!
Enough's enough.
We're out.
Yay!